committed to being the hub of the nonprofit sector of the Bitcoin economy, maximizing the potential cross-promotion of all our clients and commercial partners. BitcoinNotBombs.com. Reuters reports health insurers warned that a move by the Trump administration on Saturday to temporarily suspend a program that was set up to pay out $10.4 billion to insurers for covering high-risk individuals last year could drive up premium costs and create marketplace uncertainty. The Affordable Care Act's Risk Adjustment Program is intended to incentivize health insurers to cover individuals with pre-existing and chronic conditions by collecting money from insurers with relatively healthy enrollees to offset the cost of other insurers with sicker ones. President Donald Trump's administration has used its regulatory power to undermine the ACA on multiple fronts after the Republican-controlled Congress last year failed to repeal and replace the law propelled by Democratic President Barack Obama. About 20 million Americans have received health insurance coverage through the Affordable Care Act. America's Health Insurance Plans, a trade group representing insurers offering plans via employers, through government programs, and in the individual marketplace, said the suspensions by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services would create a new market disruption at a critical time when insurers are setting premiums for the next year. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
This is the Onion Week in Review. This week, mothers across the nation invented a new drug to worry about, confirming that the completely fictitious new substance was appearing in schoolyards across the nation and is easily created from simple household products like sugar, window cleaner, and petroleum jelly. Calling the totally made-up narcotic scramp, mothers in desperate need of something to fret over deluded themselves into constantly agonizing over the widespread drug epidemic that exists solely in their minds.
My son sits in his room for hours and hours. It must be scramp. He's a scramp head. I bet they'll figure out how to scramp with this too.
In other news, a man confidently strides through a beaded curtain without parting it. A father takes a picture of his daughter every day from birth until he abandons his family. And the same homeless man is always begging for change on the same United flight. Stalled contract negotiations have prevented me from reviewing any more news until I receive a co-producer credit. But for more, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
It is Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free, take control of the airwaves, bring up anything that you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE. We've got Skype as well at Skype username LRN.FM, and the Discord on-air call-in line room, which allows you to call in and sound almost like you're sitting in the studio with us. I heard a lot of people took advantage of Discord last night. It's there for you every single night here. Just go to discord.lrn.fm. It's super easy to sign up for if you've never done that before, and then you're in our Discord server with a bunch of other Free Talk Live listeners. You can chat before, during, and after the show in the various different chat rooms, but most importantly, you can use that first chat room to call on the air with us here. And the us in the studio tonight includes me, Ian,
Melanie,
and Mark.
So on the way here tonight, we've got a story about human sacrifice. Melanie will be telling us about one leftist, apparently, who's been defending that. But first, amazingly, there's actually calls on the line before we started the show, which it's rare that happens, but here they are. Let's go to the phones. To the phone, we're going to start with Matthew in Louisiana. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Matthew. Hey there.
How y'all doing? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we got you. Go ahead.
All right, because I'm on a Bluetooth device and boy, it's noisy in this heat. So, I heard Adam Kokesh on WGSO this morning being interviewed by Jeff Ferrer.
Who?
And
is that the local host?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Jeff runs basically a open lines, you can call in and make fart noises if you want to,
all right,
type of show. You just can't use any of those naughty words.
Right. You can use every replacement for the naughty words that, all morning shows everywhere have ever come up with, but you can't use certain letters in a specific order.
Sometimes that gets worse results.
Sometimes that's an interesting topic that I'd love to go into sometime, but it was fun listening to him. Jeff's very polite, but and they agreed on the war in Afghanistan and the war in Iraq, because Jeff is of the mind that the intelligence community lied to George Bush about the weapons of mass destruction, and I'm of that same opinion now, too. But then they got to the border, and Jeff was like, what?
So what was Adam Kokesh? What was Adam Kokesh advocating? Total border freedom, meaning open borders.
He was advocating the, I believe y'all call it the voluntary position, that if all land were privately owned, it wouldn't be an issue. That people could decide what, who can they let onto their private land, and all these decisions should be made at a more local, even individual level.
Yeah, I think that's a voluntarist position. I thought somebody called in here and kind of schooled me on that particular position. Most of the rights mentioned in the Bill of Rights have to do with public land. So it doesn't particularly matter what your freedom of speech if you're on your own property. Nobody's telling you can't say the things you want to say on your own property. That usually has to do at a town square.
That's only true in the U.S., by the way.
What's that, freedom of speech?
That nobody's telling you what you can and can't say on your own property.
Understood. But a lot of sort of the ideas that are ensconced in the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights have to do with public land. And if you were to eliminate public land, then rights are less relevant. You don't have a right to come on my property and say whatever you want. And so private property tends to negate much of the rights that go into the Bill of Rights, if that makes sense.
Yeah, actually, I agree with that position now that you've explained it a little bit clearer. But needless to say, Jeff is definitely a conservative, build the wall type.
Right.
But he was very polite, and it wouldn't have been so polite had Jeff opened up the phones to some of his audience. But Adam could only spend half an hour with him. But I thought I'd just pass on that Adam Kokesh made a little bit of a splash down here this morning.
Good for him. Hey, Matthew, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. And I know he's got a media guy. Adam Kokesh, for those that don't know, he is a former military veteran. He was in I believe the Marines.
Yep.
And I think in either Iraq or Afghanistan, one or the other, actually deployed and has seen some sort of stuff he wishes he could unsee, from what I understand. But longtime libertarian, longtime friend of Free Talk Live. We've had him on the show on multiple occasions. We've even had him in here as a co-host. He is running as Adam Kokesh for not president in 2020. As a libertarian, he's going to be trying to secure the Libertarian Party's presidential nomination, but he's making it clear that he does not want to be anyone's president. He wants to abolish the federal government entirely, from what I understand. And so he's got a very hardcore libertarian, principled message. And I'm glad to hear him out there getting media, because like I said, I know his media guy is constantly sending press releases, because somehow I ended up on that list. So I see them all the time.
I never get one.
Well, you must not be on the list.
Must not be.
But I see them all the time, so that's good. They're trying to get it out there. They're trying to put out opinion papers and positions and, hanging the hook out there for the media to respond to. And I think it's great. Even if media has him on and tries to make fun of him or tries to make him look crazy, that's okay, because as long as he sticks to the message and stays principled, he will reach the people that need to hear that message. The people that are primed and are ready to hear that message. Just because he's on a conservative talk show doesn't mean that everybody in the audience agrees with the host. There are people out there who just like listening to talk radio, and conservative talk show hosts tend to be all you really get to choose from. There are a handful of so-called progressive stations out there. We're on most of them. Of course, most of our stations are conservative stations, because the vast majority of stations are conservative talk stations. But that's just all there is to listen to. So people that like talk radio and don't want to listen to the same, Jimi Hendrix or Lynyrd Skynyrd song over again for the 1,000th time, they're going to listen to the talk radio station. It doesn't mean they agree with the host. So that's why it's important for libertarians to get out there into the media and bring a principled message. Do not pander to these people. Speak the truth about what the non-aggression principle means, which of course means that, it's not okay to use aggressive force to achieve your political or social goals. And let it hang out there. Let the responses come in. Let the callers come in. Let people be angry about it. It's okay. We want to reach the people that understand. We want to reach the people that are ripe for that message. And kudos to Adam Kokesh for doing that.
If everyone's happy with you, you're not doing your job right.
Exactly. Let's go to Nolan. He's in New York, listening online via TuneIn. Go ahead, Nolan.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, you're on the air.
Okay, so, well, first of all, speaking of the 2020 Libertarian nomination, don't vote for Bill Wells.
Well, I won't be going, but yes, Bill Weld, this is the guy who ran as the vice presidential nominee in the last time around and is a former governor of Massachusetts, which for me was enough to realize this is a scumbag and we don't want anything to do with him. But unfortunately, the Libertarians nominated him.
Yeah, loves eminent domain, loves gun control, yeah. And he said that Obama's platform in 2008 was outstanding, endorsed Hillary Clinton 2 weeks before the election.
Yeah.
But anyway,
he couldn't keep his mouth shut about Hillary Clinton during the 2016 election.
Just thought she was great.
Yeah. Well, that's what you get when you try to placate normies and statists instead of trying to put out your own message.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know
was
what
a real disappointment.
The point would be to, say, yeah, I really like my competition. Well, then I'll just vote for them.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Yeah. But what I wanted to talk about was the Supreme Court nominee tonight. So what are your guys' takes on who Trump might pick for the Supreme Court? Because it's making a lot of headlines.
Well, Trump's great about making headlines. I mean, you gotta hand it to the guy. Was it Trump who announced that he was going to give the announcement tonight? Like that's just good showmanship, right? Like for him to throw it out there, get everybody talking about him. All he's going to do is make an announcement of a political appointment. I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be. Why does it even matter to speculate about it? I don't even understand the point. So no, I don't have an answer for you. You guys are welcome to answer the question here in a moment. Nolan is with us here. Stand by. The Supreme Court nominee. I mean, what does it matter what your guess is? Oh, you're going to be able to pat yourself on the back if you were right? Congratulations. I guess some people could take bets, maybe gamble on.
People do gamble on that.
Yeah, on who it's going to be. 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up what you want. Sex robots coming up.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You pop open your Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime. Get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. Blinkprotect.com/FTL to save 15%.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT No Gov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to bipcot.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, and of course you're invited to join us right here. Dial the toll-free number, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And Skype in here. It's Skype username LRN.FM. Tonight, it's Ian.
Melanie.
And Mark.
Want to let you know about the Tom Woods Show. A lot of libertarians learned about Tom Woods during the Ron Paul campaigns of 2008 and 2012. He is a New York Times best-selling author and has written over a dozen books, including The Politically Incorrect Guide to American History. We've had the pleasure of having him here on Free Talk Live on multiple occasions. And since September of 2013, Tom has been putting out his own show, The Tom Woods Show, every single weekday, which totals over 1,200 episodes so far, including guests like Ron Paul, Judge Andrew Napolitano, David Stockman, and hundreds more, with topics like war, the Federal Reserve, net neutrality, the FDA, Austrian economics, and other subjects of interest to libertarians. Find The Tom Woods Show online at tomwoods.com or search for Tom Woods Show in your favorite podcatchers. We continue with your calls and thoughts coming up here. We got sex robots on the way, and Melanie is going to tell us about human sacrifice. There's apparently somebody defending human sacrifice. We'll get into that. But first, we go to, back to Nolan in New York. You called in about this Supreme Court nominee thing. And I got to say, the only thing I've heard, was just a rumor that Trump was considering Judge Andrew Napolitano, and of course
that was rumored.
Yeah,
because what's his name, Austin Peterson, the runner-up in the Libertarian nomination, who's running as a Republican for the Senate in Missouri. Mm-hmm. He was on the radio and he was asked about it, and he said Judge Napolitano. The problem is Napolitano is, in my opinion, I think Napolitano would be a great choice, but I think he might be a little too old.
Napolitano?
Really? Well, he's 68.
Okay,
well, that's young for a god.
Supreme Court.
They don't appoint people at 40. They
may be trying to do that.
In 60s, when they get in, they serve for a decade or two, and then they die. I mean, you're not going to get 40 years out of your appointee.
Wait, so you believe they're trying to appoint a young person, Nolan?
Yeah, well, one of the people that they're looking at is Amy Coney Barrett, who's a woman that's 46 years old.
Is the idea if they appoint a younger person, they're going to stay longer and so therefore control?
You should appoint me.
Yeah.
You're not a judge.
You don't have to be.
Really?
No.
How about that?
You can be appointed to the Supreme Court without being a judge.
That's funny because Mike Lee isn't really a libertarian, but he's libertarian, or he claims to be libertarian-ish.
Who's that? Who's Mike Lee?
He's a senator from Utah, and he's like, he's kind of like a Rand Paul sort of libertarian, where it's like...
Well, when you're saying he's kind of like Rand Paul, he's nowhere near a libertarian, because Rand Paul is nowhere near a libertarian.
Rand Paul does not claim to be libertarian?
No, he doesn't. He specifically says he's not. Rand Paul specifically says he is not a libertarian.
Okay, well, he's like he's like Rand Paul in the way that he like votes against like military spending, but he's not like a big believer in the non-aggression principle.
Right.
But I heard the reason I bring him up is because he's been mentioned also. I think he's like in his late 40s. He's being considered. Well, but there's a bit of drama because Brian Kavanaugh is a guy who's being considered, and he's
I don't know who any of these people are. I mean, really, to me, it doesn't matter one iota who it is they choose, because it's going to be another statist. It's going to be another person who believes in government power and centralizing that power, and you're going to find they're going to vote every now and then. They're going to vote to make it, look like they actually have some sort of adherence to the Constitution, but we know that they actually don't. And I don't know. It's hard for me to get up any kind of concern or care about this.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it matters. I just don't put a whole lot of stock in trying to guess who it's going to be or figure out who it's going to be because I have no control over that. It definitely matters. There's a spectrum of statism all the way from a minarchist Night Watch state all the way to, Joseph Stalin. Where in that spectrum you land, it does matter very much. These people have inordinate amounts of power. Yeah, it matters. I just don't see any value in sitting around trying to figure out who it's going to be until they're appointed.
I agree. Thanks, Nolan, for the call tonight. I appreciate. Go ahead.
The only reason I bring it up is because, Brian Kavanaugh is pro-Obamacare. And the only reason I'm interested in that is because Trump's base would literally eat him alive if he gets a pro-Obamacare guy in.
Okay. Hey, Nolan, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. The who's of politics I really couldn't care any less about who these people are. They're all scum of the earth to me.
I care and listen and have been listening a little bit more to talk radio, specifically NPR, because I want to know.
But you won't know until tonight.
Yeah, you just won't know until tonight. Yeah. I think it's kind of, so my wife and I were chuckling. It's pointless to worry about it.
That's right.
But
it's also pointless to speculate about it.
There are people in this world that,
they have nothing better to do.
Well, right. I mean, it comes down to like sports people. Yep. It's like sports people. They want to know, who's going to be
just as boring as sports people. Yeah, absolutely.
Boring.
So and so might get appointed to the so and so position, and blah blah blah. You know what they're all going to do? They're all going to tell you how to live. They're all going to force their way upon you. They're all going to justify the government's violence, and they're going to justify the existence of the state. They suck. Let's go to Doug. He's in Tennessee. Doug, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hey, we are all going to tell you how to live, right, Ian?
No, not you, Doug.
You're not
Are you on the Supreme Court?
I'm just asking.
Nope, I was talking about people in government. Are you in the government?
I was, actually.
Okay, well, glad you got out of it. So what were you calling about tonight?
I have a question about war. I've done it again, and I'm doing it again. And I have tribal, there will always be war in government, no?
I'm not okay. So there'll always be war, or there'll always be government. You kind of said war and government. I don't get it.
Okay, so there'll always be a tribal instinct for government, and then people will try to rule someone else. Does that make more sense?
I think that we're not going to see the human desire to control other humans going away in our lifetime. I'd love to see that happen, but it's probably not.
I think that's
realistic.
An unfounded allegation. Whenever you say things like always or never or all or none, you are almost certain to be making a false statement. But to me, the more relevant question is just because something.
Can you say it isn't false because it hasn't happened yet?
Well, I'll say
but
this.
that doesn't mean
nobody's going to rule me if I've got equal firepower over them. And the United States, nobody has equal firepower at this point. So the United States just runs roughshod around the world doing what it wants. It finds farmers and goat herders and bombs the hell out of them and tells us that they're bad people.
Talk about Vietnam, and Iraq and Afghanistan, because I've been to both of those places, and talk about how we have lost both those wars because we don't have equal firepower. Tell me about that.
You have lost those wars.
lose Vietnam. The U.S. walked away from Vietnam. Those are very different things.
They walked away and then gave it away afterward. The politicians gave it away, which is what's going to happen ultimately when it comes to Afghanistan and what happened in Iraq.
Hold on, Doug. We'll bring you back here. You can continue the discussion. I'm not quite sure where you're going, but we'll find out here in moments. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. I like it. Some challenging calls right out the gate here tonight. That's the kind of thing I appreciate. And you can take control of the airwaves. Join us on the radio here, 855-450-FREE, if you want to join us on the phones, or Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM. It's Free Talk Live.
If you like alkaline water, or know someone that does, you're going to love the Dylan Living Water Bottle. It creates alkaline water on the go while reducing plastic waste and saving you money. Made with surgical-grade stainless steel, the Dylan bottle increases the pH up to 9 to deliver both alkaline and antioxidant water anywhere you want it. Alkaline water is healthier, tastes better, and can even boost energy. The Dylan bottle makes it easy and affordable to be healthy and achieve optimal hydration. Get your Dylan bottle today at dyln.co. That's dyln.co.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Jack Daniels announced today its plan to start marketing directly to children, adding, quote, "Why not?" Executives for the whiskey company told reporters that they've already slated dozens of television spots showing 10-year-old children drinking tumblers of Jack and Coke in playgrounds, and that the company was planning on, quote, "just seeing how it all played out."
Every year, Jack Daniels sells millions of dollars of great American whiskey to men and women all over the world. So, for our next ad campaign, we basically just thought, hey, why not just start marketing this stuff straight to 10-year-olds? I mean, if they catch us, they catch us, but we'll see how far it goes, and hopefully we can sell some alcohol along the way. Sure, some parents groups could get upset, especially if we go with our idea of moms serving their kids cranberry Jack at snack time. But
in other news, a doomed rabbit will teach an 8-year-old a lesson about responsibility, and a torrent of soap issues from a wildly unexpected part of the dispenser. Well, that was it. It's all downhill from here, bud. For more, visit theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Take control of the airwaves. Bring up anything you want. Our number here is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can join us also via Skype at Skype username LRN.FM or hop on to the Discord chat over at discord.lrn.fm, where you can easily get in there and sound like you're sitting in the studio. Here with us in the studio, actually, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Mark.
We're going back to Doug in Tennessee, but I do want to let folks know, Melanie, how they can get in touch with you if they could have, maybe they could use a real anarchist as an accountant, because that's what you do. You do accounting work and bookkeeping work usually for smaller businesses when it comes to the bookkeeping. But you'll help people with their personal taxes, as well as filing taxes for their business, preparing to file the taxes. What do you need to do towards the end of the year, for instance, to put yourself in as ideal of a position as possible for the next year's filings?
Yeah, so I do monthly plans where I go through your stuff, make sure everything's set up on a quarterly basis, yearly basis, so that you can do some stuff that maybe can't be done after the first of the year, depending on what you need to move around. I am helping some people get caught up right now. If you had a pretty good run, 10, 15, 20 years, and they sent you a letter saying, you need to file the last 3 years of taxes because that's a nice house you got there, then I help with stuff like that. So kind of wherever you're at, we can make it so that you keep as much of your own money as possible, and also don't go to jail.
Sounds like a good plan. Melanie can help you. You can get in touch with her directly. Just go to tax.freetalklive.com. That will forward you directly to her website where you can reach out. That's tax.freetalklive.com. We go back to Doug. He's in Tennessee. Doug, you were kind of making some kind of point, and we just ran out of time there. So can you just briefly recap where you were coming from?
I just wanted to know what you thought about the tribal concept of government and why the U.S. is so bad, because you're still here.
Okay, so I think that government generally is an organization of criminals that are telling us what to do. Would you agree that most politicians are liars?
Are you not?
Huh? I'm asking you a question. Do you agree?
Okay. Can I rebuttal afterwards?
Sure. Do you agree that most politicians are liars and thieves?
Hello?
To the extent of what you believe is liar.
No, I'm asking you. Do you think that politicians get where they are by lying, and once they get there, line their pockets with your tax dollars?
Can I ask a rebuttal question?
No, you can answer the question. Is that what politicians do? It's yes or no.
Why can't I ask a question?
Just answer the question.
Why are you dodging the question?
You know it's true. That's why. It's the definition of the word.
Okay. I'll answer the question, and I'll come back with the question.
Great.
You have to answer it.
Great.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Now, come on back to me.
That's it? That's all you got?
Politicians are liars and thieves. Why the hell would you ever do what they say?
Okay. Why are you still here?
In the United States? Or planet Earth?
I don't live on government land, so I'm not actually in the U.S.'s land.
Why are you still in the United States of America?
Because the United States, as rated by against other governments, is in the top 25. And it's a good place to make money.
I'm asking.
I'm telling you.
I really want
you also know you can't just leave, right? Like people say you should leave, like you can just do that, like you can just go across the border and walk into any country that'll have you. That's not how it works.
Mostly. It's not how it works.
Why would it be able to let people allow it into our country?
So this is about immigration? This isn't about war?
No, it's about both as a concept. It's all intertangled.
One of the problems with allowing free movement of people between countries is that the United States is dropping big bombs on wedding parties in the Middle East. And that makes people mad.
Been to war?
What's that?
Have you ever been to war?
Have I ever been to war?
Yes, question.
No, I paid a lot for it.
Yeah, have you ever seen what we actually do in war?
I've seen pictures of the results. I'm a journalist.
I've known people who were there.
Have you been boots on the ground?
I think it's clear at this point. I spent 8.5 years in prison in the United States, and most of the wars were being fought at that time.
What's the relevance of the question? We know people who've had boots on the ground.
Yeah, but you can't say that we aren't the... Okay, here it is. Why can't we have an open border? Why can't we have freedom? Why can't we have all of this? Because the media does all of these things to disrespect and disentangle everyone, and it's a hate inaugural. You included.
Are you drunk? I mean, I don't really understand. You're saying that it's because of the media is why we can't have open borders?
You keep changing what you're attacking. Like, if you want to attack our position on immigration, you don't have to start with defending the legitimacy of the states, which is what you did. So if you want to discuss...
Yeah, it's all entangled together.
It's what? It's what? I'm sorry. Say again?
It is all entangled together.
Right, but there are people who do believe in the legitimacy of the state who are on both sides of the border question, so that you're kind of playing beyond what your hand needs to be.
I don't feel nearly as passionately about the border issue as I do about the war issues. So, you know, I kind of feel like the rug's been pulled out from under me here. I thought we were talking about the $3 trillion that my son's going to have to pay the interest on.
He just hung up. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, he hung up, yeah. That my son's going to have to pay the interest on. That's how you can say that the United States lost the Afghan and Iraqi wars, because we have to pay for them.
I'm still
and
not
it's
sure
an incredible amount of money.
I'm still not sure what the dude's point was. I was going to try to ask that.
I don't.
I think his point was that he was mad.
I think he's upset
about
that you know, that our philosophy interferes with his, right? Like
what's his philosophy? I mean, we can't ask him. He's gone now.
That's the problem with being a statist.
Yeah.
I know. I
one.
did it on the show for a long time. It's kind of difficult and frustrating
They don't have
to
a
deal with
philosophy,
somebody who is like, oh no, we should be free all of the time. I don't actually take that position here on the show. I will ask people about that position, try to find out what they say, but I understand that it's a very difficult situation to rebut. What I say is that free people should be able to do as they wish. So if you want to buy a piece of property and your friends on there and not pay any taxes and not receive any government benefit, then you should be able to do that. I mean, that's what a free person should be able to do. I'm pretty sure that a constitutional republic with some better tweaking might be the best thing we have going. But the problem
don't have that.
Yeah, the problem is that generally doesn't work, and liars and thieves generally get put in place.
Right, you can't trust them.
The
to
smaller
run that
the country, the less that happens. But still, you know, people's personal interests come into play.
Yeah, so I did hear him ask that question, the sort of age-old question, well, if you don't like it, you know, why are you still here? And you gave your answer, Mark. I'd like to give mine. Yeah. Because New Hampshire is the freest of all of the 50 states, and when you look at the charts of human freedom around the world, yes, the United States has been dropping on that chart, but they don't ever break out the individual states to see where they would rank up against the other countries. I suspect New Hampshire would be in the top 5 of the other, you know, most free countries in the world if it was broken out separately. So I'm here because I believe in freedom, and I believe this is the best place to achieve more of it in my lifetime, and that's why there's a bunch of us who are here. That's why you moved here, Melanie. It's why dozens and hundreds and thousands of libertarian people who, again, as you pointed out, some of them are small government people. Some of them would call themselves anarchists, as you do, Melanie. Others might describe themselves as voluntarists. But the reality is we've got the best community, as messy as it is. And the fact is, when you have a community, it's going to be messy, because we have a growing community that's larger than any other libertarian community anywhere on the planet. So you're gonna have the mess. You're gonna have the drama. You're gonna have the interpersonal conflicts. That's what happens with people getting together. And this is a successful migration, and it continues to be more successful. I was just out at a local watering hole today, and there were at least 4 or 5 customers, libertarians today, who paid with crypto. It's awesome.
This November, I'll be running the world's biggest and most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon, as a member of Team Innocence Project. The Innocence Project was the first legal organization to systematically apply DNA testing to cases of wrongful convictions as a powerful tool to reveal innocence. It's already been an extraordinary year for the Innocence Project and their clients. They've already freed more innocent people in the past 12 months than in any year in the history of the Innocence Project, and they're gearing up to do even more. The attorneys and paralegals for the Innocence Project are dedicated to doing whatever it takes to set an innocent person free. To support them, a new cohort of law students have recently joined and are excited to help with more than 200 cases of clients seeking to prove their innocence. 9 clients have been exonerated and reunited with their families in 2018 already, and your support now will help build on the incredible momentum of exonerations. You can support the Innocence Project by going to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com.
Hello, this is Dr. Bill Deagle, MD of NutriMedical.com, announcing the breakthrough Red Deer Velvet DR. It delivers the protected building blocks of all organs and tissues, allowing your own stem cells as architects and engineers to regenerate you. Not since fetal life, when aging does not occur, has such an amazing NutriMed been available to help heal you and regenerate you. Anti-aging requires that you correct mineral, activated nutraceutical, and jump the gene defects and poor diet you have to deliver the cellular tools for regeneration. You must remove old damaged cells and replace them with your young healthy cells to wind the biological clock to a younger you. Order your Red Deer Velvet DR now at NutriMedical.com 24/7 or 888-212-8871. That's NutriMedical, N-U-T-R-I, Medical, MEDICAL.com. Or call our order line 888-212-8871.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Lil Drums. Every bit as fun as a full-size Nestle drumstick cone and definitely cuter. Visit us at drumstick.com. Vacations are all about family time, but you don't have to leave home to have fun. Take 1 weekend a month and devote it to family activities. Pull out the board games and puzzles, serve up some treats, or have a picnic. Even without leaving home, you'll feel like you've really had some time away. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Dial on in here, toll free, take control of the airwaves, and bring up whatever is on your mind. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype username, LRN.FM. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
Melanie.
And Mark.
Hey, we've got a website. It's got all kinds of cool features on it, and it's free. So you can go and download episodes going back for more than a decade. You can, of course, watch back episodes on YouTube. You can watch us live via our Twitch channel. So many different features that all those other talk shows want to charge you for on their websites. We give them away. And then on the back end, we say, hey, if you like what we're doing, you want to help support Free Talk Live, you can do that. All you got to do is join the AMP program over at amp.freetalklive.com. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. And it is a way for us to get on new radio stations, bring new internet listeners on board, expose new people to the ideas of freedom. So once again, head on over to amp.freetalklive.com. You can sign up for $5 a month. We're trying to push to raise enough money to do some advertising on the internet in a big way. We'd like to do the Penn Jillette Show, Penn's Sunday School.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's Penn Sunday School. Either way, it's been on the air or on the internet for a long time, many years. We've had them on LRN.FM for most of that time. And it's not cheap. Not cheap at all. They're charging like $1,500 for one show sponsorship, basically. And that's, you're going to reach a lot of people. We just can't afford
libertarians.
it. Yeah, we just can't afford it. A lot of not, necessarily principled libertarians.
No.
A lot of fans of Penn Jillette, and Penn is pretty libertarian. I'd say you're going to reach more of a general audience. You're going to reach more of a general audience,
Sure.
maybe leaning liberty-friendly on some of their listeners. But anyway, we'd like to raise that kind of money, but we're going to need like another $1,000 a month in order to do it. And on the average amper, you might be looking at about $10 per amper, because our minimum amp level is $5 per month, but some people will give, 15 or 20, 25 or something like that. So I think it averages out to like $7 or $10 per month. So if we got 100 new amplifiers, we could do it at an average of $10 per. So go to amp.freetalklive.com and you can help us out with that, and you'll get some cool perks. You can learn all about that over at amp.freetalklive.com. You can do credit card, you can do PayPal, you can do Bitcoin, BTC at amp.freetalklive.com. Sex robots, we can talk about that coming up here. Your calls and thoughts about whatever's on your mind. We got open phones every single night here on Free Talk Live. I did mention this story over the weekend, and it was just one we never got to. The story here coming from the Daily Star, who seems to have a bit of an obsession with sex robots. They are constantly, like whenever I see a headline on Drudge Report about...
If it gets clicks,
Yeah, sure. And it must. Whenever I see a headline on Drudge Report about sex robots, it's almost always the Daily Star. Headline here, sex robot brothel going global to open third venue as firm says cyborgs will, quote, be the norm. Now, keep in mind, this is in the context of a conversation we had over the weekend on Saturday night's show, where we were talking about young people in the United States, and we actually had a caller from the UK who said it's the case in the UK. It's also the case in Japan. It's even worse in Japan, where young people are having sex less often. They're not even getting into relationships, it seems like, as often. They're not even hanging out as often because they're all hiding behind their computer screens and such. And so as a result, you're not seeing as much as many people having children. Simply because, well, one, some people are actively choosing not to have children because of various different reasons, some of which could include, for instance, their concerns with sort of the future and not being able to afford it and so on. We went through the list of them on Saturday evening. But then factor this in, right, where some people's objections to relationships, having to deal with the constant issues of a partner, well, sex robots solve that problem for some people, and it seems silly, it seems ridiculous, but yet a lot of people are apparently taking this very seriously. Lumidolls was founded in 2017 by a group of Spanish entrepreneurs from Barcelona seeking to capitalize on the expanding market for sex dolls and robots. The opening of the first Lumidolls venue just off Barcelona's famous La Rambla Boulevard in February of 2017 marked the beginning of a new era for the sex industry. A torrent of media coverage and customers meant that the Lumidolls had to move venues to a more secluded location whose address was only revealed to paying customers. At the end of April, Lumidolls opened a second franchise in Moscow after striking an agreement with Russian investors keen to export the brand to the city. 2 months on, Lumidolls co-founder and owner Sergei Preto has told Daily Star Online of his plan to set up a third brothel in another European city within the next few weeks. The brothel, whose location would not be disclosed, will be the third franchise opened by Lumidolls in the just over 16 months as the company aims to expand, quote, all around the world. Sergey is a former telecoms marketing executive, said a lucrative deal for the third sex doll Bordello has already been struck with investors. He says we already have an agreement signed to open a third location within the next month, and he says he's 90% sure it'll be open at the end of July. And then they have some pictures here because the Daily Star loves photos, basically mostly pictures and not too much in the way of text. They've got, like some fancy room, strangely with a stripper's pole in it, as though a doll could possibly use the stripper's pole.
It's probably been reused for other things, and now they're using it for dolls. I think it's kind of interesting because you probably... Well, so first off, running a brothel, it has to be every employee problem amplified by 10, right? Just guessing, but strippers, probably terrible employees.
Okay.
And so, I mean, boyfriend problems, probably lots
They've
of
got
them.
That, yeah. Daddy
like
issues.
Boyfriends with guns kind of problems. I mean, late for work.
Drug addiction?
Cocaine benders, just everything that you can imagine from 10 employees. This one employee would provide you with those kind of issues.
Well, to be fair, I mean, I did hear a rumor back in Sarasota, Florida, that one of the clubs, the strip clubs, they actually paid their girls in heroin.
That may be true, but...
so sometimes the clubs themselves are contributing to the problem.
Well, right. You wouldn't want all your strippers to go get therapy, right? Like, that would be bad for your business.
Therapy takes a while, and the problem is with strippers is they get paid real well. So people who are incentivized to not do what the therapy says, probably therapy's not going to do them any good anyway. Mostly the problems that strippers have are going to continue as long as strippers can strip and make money. Just my guess.
Okay.
And there's a few strippers out there that are very good at stripping, but their money away and are preparing for a better life and all that other stuff. And, I don't know what percentage that is, but it's probably small. So this with the rubber dolls here, basically, I'm not ready to call these things robots.
They're not yet robots, I don't think.
But
that's coming, though.
A no-tell motel with a rubber doll in every room sounds less costly to me than running a brothel.
An actual brothel, yeah.
It sounds more nasty.
Well, it's cheaper to pay somebody to clean a rubber doll that has been used for this act than it is to find somebody to be the stand-in for the rubber doll for the act, is what I'm saying.
I totally understand what you're saying. That makes complete sense because if you paid somebody to clean these nasty things, then that person can clean probably more than one of those things in a given amount of time. You only have one employee to do that. That's completely different than a whole gaggle of girls. You didn't even mention the infighting between the girls, right? That's going to happen too. Right, fighting over clients, fighting over territory, fighting over boyfriends or whatever.
The rubber dolls aren't going to do that.
Nope, they sure won't. They don't even talk back.
The problem is that once you introduce your client base to the joys of rubber dolldom, then I would presume that the clients can probably buy their own rubber dolls.
Presumably, yeah.
For the price of 5 visits to the rubber doll boudoir.
Well, presumably the place would sell them a rubber doll, right? Because, I mean, if you know your client's going to buy a rubber doll, likely at some point, presuming they really love the thing, they are going to want to buy it. You might as well be the one willing to sell it to them in that particular case.
Yeah, you could be the rubber doll distributor. But the reason you say why would people buy it, Ian, is because you're single. If you had a rubber doll up in your room, I wouldn't know. And if I did, all I would do is make fun of you.
You're welcome to go take a look around.
But if you did, you could.
I imagine it would be hard to hide a rubber doll because that's not inflatable, right?
I simply cannot. Right? I cannot have a rubber doll at my house.
You could hide it in that you got a big basement down there.
And I have a wife. And
she doesn't go in the basement very often.
My mother stays with us 6 months out of the year. I really don't want to have to explain all of this.
No. What if Jack found it?
Right.
That would be a tough conversation.
Where do you hide the thing?
What's
a
this,
coffin? So, no, this isn't going to work for a large segment of the population.
Indeed. And also maybe somebody who's into this. And if you're into it, give us a call. You don't have to use your real name. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. I'm trying to think, Mark, of reasons why somebody would want to pay for this service as opposed to buying the doll. Maybe they don't want to do the cleanup part. You know, maybe they just want to come in, do their business, and have somebody else take care of that part. 855-450-FREE like freedom, 855-450-3733. Hour number 2's on the way. This is Free Talk Live.
Heart-related health problems affect millions of people each year. Maybe you're one of the many who suffer from issues related to angina pain, high blood pressure, congestive heart failure, unbalanced cholesterol, irregular heartbeat, or clogged arteries. There is a solution that doesn't involve expensive prescription drugs that only mask the problem and leave you with horrible side effects. If you are ready to live your life free of sickness, pain, and fear, live your life with increased vitality, energy, and youthfulness, and experience your body healing itself, then you're ready for Heart and Body Extract from Healthy Hearts Club. Here is what one satisfied customer had to say about Heart and Body Extract regarding his angina pain.
I haven't had an angina pain since I've been on it. The Heart Body Extract is just so great. I thank God that I was led to this product that's doing so much for me and that can do so much for other people.
Call to order your 2-month supply of Heart and Body Extract today. Call 1-866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, July 9th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.17 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,265 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $22, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,719. Antiwar.com reports an ongoing U.S. and Afghan military offensive against the Islamic State in the Nangarhar province is coming to an end soon. Officials say that the target, the border area of Da Bella, will be totally cleared in the operation. U.S. officials are saying that the area on the border with Pakistan was going to be used to attack the cities of Kabul and Jalalabad. The report appears designed to suggest this offensive, once finished, will more or less totally remove the Islamic State from the bulk of the Nangarhar province. This is something we've heard before, of course. Time and again, offensives against the Islamic State and Nangarhar have killed scores or even hundreds of suspects and ended with claims of total victory. Time and again, the Islamic State has reemerged within weeks after the end of the offensive with no apparent long-term losses. This particular offensive appears to have been little more than a matter of convenience for U.S. forces at any rate. The declaration of a ceasefire by the Afghan government at the end of Ramadan meant the U.S. could not attack the Taliban for a while, and they decided to escalate the fighting against the Islamic State instead. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend a Bit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend a Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. UPI reports the First Church of Cannabis in Indiana will not be allowed to use cannabis as a religious sacrament as long as cannabis is illegal in the state, according to a judge's ruling. The church argued that it should be allowed to use marijuana for religious use under the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, but Marion County Superior Judge Cheryl Lynch rejected that view because the state has a compelling interest to prohibit marijuana to fight drug trafficking. Lynch wrote in her opinion, "The undisputed evidence demonstrates that permitting a religious exemption to laws that prohibit the use and possession of marijuana would hinder drug enforcement efforts statewide and negatively impact public health and safety," adding that police officers would have to differentiate between religious use and non-religious use of cannabis. Lynch said it is compelling and appropriate to treat the illicit drug market in a unitary way. Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill praised Lynch's ruling, saying, "I appreciate the court's fidelity to both the law and to common sense. Indiana's law against the possession, sale, and use of marijuana protects the health, safety, and well-being of the Hoosiers statewide. When the state has justifiable and compelling interest at stake, no one can evade the law simply by describing their illegal conduct as an exercise of religious faith." In response, Bill Levin, who founded the church in 2015, said cannabis is safer than Curtis Hill, adding that he plans to appeal the ruling. Bitcoin Not Bombs is a launching pad for nonprofits and social entrepreneurs into the financial freedom of the Bitcoin economy. Bitcoin Not Bombs offers premium publicity campaigns designed to facilitate an organization's adoption of Bitcoin as a payment system and to fully capitalize on that decision in their fundraising efforts. Bitcoin Not Bombs is fully committed to being the hub of the nonprofit sector of the Bitcoin economy, maximizing the potential cross-promotion of all our clients and commercial partners. BitcoinNotBombs.com. Reuters reports health insurers warned that a move by the Trump administration on Saturday to temporarily suspend a program that was set up to pay out $10.4 billion to insurers for covering high-risk individuals last year could drive up premium costs and create marketplace uncertainty. The Affordable Care Act's Risk Adjustment Program is intended to incentivize health insurers to cover individuals with pre-existing and chronic conditions by collecting money from insurers with relatively healthy enrollees to offset the cost of other insurers with sicker ones. President Donald Trump's administration has used its regulatory power to undermine the ACA on multiple fronts after the Republican-controlled Congress last year failed to repeal and replace the law propelled by Democratic President Barack Obama. About 20 million Americans have received health insurance coverage through the Affordable Care Act. America's Health Insurance Plans, a trade group representing insurers offering plans via employers, through government programs, and in the individual marketplace, said the suspensions by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services would create a new market disruption at a critical time when insurers are setting premiums for the next year. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
A report released Tuesday by physicists at Stanford University revealed that the entire known universe, from the whole of human civilization to the totality of matter and energy, is actually the fictional setting of a cop show called Hard Case. According to authors of the report, existence as we know it was created solely to provide the framework for the primetime drama that airs weekly in a parallel universe, and that every historical event prior to the show's September 2008 pilot, including the Renaissance, World War II, evolution, the September 11th attacks, and the presidential administrations of Washington through Clinton, never actually happened and are merely part of the elaborate backstory crafted by Hard Case creator and showrunner Dominic Egan.
We used to believe that our universe operated under immutable laws of thermodynamics and gravitational relativity, but now we know everything just comes from the minds of Hard Case's 12 staff writers. Overall, it seems like a very well-written show.
Physicists have theorized that the universe as we know it will cease to exist whenever Hard Case airs its final episode.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, launching into the second hour of the program, inviting you to join us on the radio. Take control of the airwaves here, bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM, or jump in our Discord on-air call-in line room, which is where we're going to be going next. You can easily get into the Discord chat over at discord.lrn.fm. In the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Mark.
To the Discord chat, where Mortified Penguin is on the line in Virginia. You're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, hey everybody. I wanted to call just about the history, present, and future of the state.
Sure.
So, so Minister Mark, I've heard you say that the past 9,000 years of human history has been a history of master-slave relationship, and the state has developed over time and stuff like that. And the state has developed over time from a chieftainship to a simple despotism to a king's, and then a bureaucracy formed, and then the modern state formed in like the 17th century. And I'm not someone who thinks that there was never a purpose for these things and for hierarchies and for these kind of organizations, and that I think they have served a purpose. But I think we're coming to a point where, because of advances in human consciousness and society, advances in technology, we're starting to see the concept of a state perhaps become obsolete in a way that it would not have or could not have in the past. So I think that, I know it's kind of a cliche to say humanity is evolving in this period of time, but, I'm not one to say the state should have never existed. It's always been, maybe has been evil in some ways, from the very simple principles, but it's had a purpose. So, I mean, what do you think about that? Do you guys kind of agree with that kind of view?
I'm ready to get up and walk away from the microphone because my job is done here. This caller has said what I have said better than I could have ever possibly have said it, so I just need to give up the microphone to him. I absolutely 100% agree with your assessment of what you're coalescing down into a consumable form what I've said in the past, and 100%. I think the state may have had to exist. I can't really argue against that, because how in the world can I put in a double-blind test as to whether or not the state would work? However, I can do it today. Somebody could let me operate start my own country, buy a piece of property, and then just leave me alone and not send their cops in or their tax collectors or any of these people, and we could see how it went. And then we could say, well, this particular place, things went fine. But ultimately, I do think we're moving towards, a more stateless existence. And what my evidence for that would be, look at the young people. They really get it as far as, less government goes.
Do they?
Enough of them do. I don't need all of them.
Because aren't most young people socialists?
Screw the Bernie supporters. All they want is their college paid for, really.
Yeah.
I'm talking about some of the young people that I talk to on a regular basis. Libertarianism is catching hold.
But aren't you more likely to talk to libertarian young people because those are the circles in which you run?
Take a look at what happened after Ron Paul. I mean, we've done this show since 2002. Are there more libertarians now than there were?
Presumably, but
there
I don't know.
There are lots more.
I mean, they're not doing any better politically.
It doesn't take politics. He's talking about a social movement. This is something that could take a long time if everybody continues to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
If they do other things, change their behavior, maybe they move to New Hampshire, maybe they get involved in one of these projects down in Honduras with a free city or something like that, and maybe somebody makes something work, and we can say, hey, look, statelessness works, at least in this particular instance. Less government.
You can certainly argue that cryptocurrency like Bitcoin has been a major shift away from the state, that the state historically has, over generations, had complete control over money in any given society, and to change that, or to begin to change that with cryptocurrency, sort of decentralizing the control of money into the people's hands, that's a huge shift. I don't think most people have really absorbed what that actually means. I think most people look at cryptocurrency as a thing they could make money on right now, because the price has tended to go up over time.
Not anymore. Not so much anymore. With the prices.
You don't think people think that they can make money on cryptocurrency anymore?
Well, crypto is very volatile.
Not like it was.
Well, I mean, it's not a constant.
It's not 20,000.
It's not a constant upward trend to newer and newer highs like it was at the end of 2017. But I think people can still
was
see
never that. It was never an upward trend from one location to another. It's always been, this run up,
jagged,
and this fall down, this
roller coaster,
this roller coaster, this demoralizing fall that then raises to a new high. I think
people can still see it.
It's also still probably being manipulated.
Yeah, sure,
Maybe.
It's being manipulated.
I think people can still see it though, Penguin, because I can tell you the business owners around here, they're holding on. They're holding on to that crypto.
Yeah,
they have the expectation that it will go up over time.
Too many experts are saying it's going to be, in the 5 figures by the end of the year for me to,
The 5, isn't it in 5 figures right now?
No, it's in 4.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right about that.
It's at 66.44 at this moment. That is 4 figures.
Correct. You're right about that.
You put a 1 in front of that, it's 5, but I suspect it'll be higher than that.
Well, the Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort, says, get out if you don't want to lose all of your money, talking about Bitcoin, according to CNBC. What do you think about that?
Me?
I don't know, whoever.
I am unsurprised that the mainstream media and a person in the mainstream finance industry is telling you not to be in crypto.
Somebody who's a known scam artist is telling you to get out of Bitcoin.
I was just listening to the...
I'm holding.
I was just listening to the Motley Fool this weekend. They had on, I believe, somebody who was talking about the long tails in investment, basically saying that, that most investors make most of their money from 1 or 2 buys. That's what whoever the guy from Omaha is, Warren Buffett, that's what he said. And then they look at the S&P 500. If you pull out Google, Facebook, and Amazon out of the S&P 500, performance isn't so great. So it's really just a few stocks that
pushing it up,
by which people perform. I would like to see the picks that the Wolf of Wall Street has made over the last 5 years. And if he's been right, really right 5 times, he's a genius. But that means he was wrong hundreds of other times.
Well, he served 22 months, according to CNBC, at a California prison after pleading guilty in 1999 to a 7-year scheme at his Long Island brokerage, which manipulated the price of stocks and left investors holding nearly worthless securities. According to Belfort, that experience has given him insight into a modern financial asset, Bitcoin. He says in a recent YouTube video, quote, "Bitcoin's all based on the great fool's theory. I know this better than anyone in the world. I'm not proud of that, but I do," he says. Now, is anyone familiar with the great fool's theory?
It sounds like all you have to do is get a bunch of people together and, there's a sucker born every minute is what it sounds like.
P.T. Barnum.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
P.T. Barnum, sucker born every minute.
Right. I mean,
did not understand what it is, what it means, like the whole fundamentals of blockchain. It's revolutionary.
It is revolutionary, but don't expect a stock guy to figure that out. A stock guy says, I want to buy a piece of a company, and then people at that company are going to work hard and beat out the other companies, and then my stock's going to go up, and wham, bam, money, thank you. But the stock guys never buy commodities. They never say, you know what, this is going to be an awesome year for oranges because the weather's going to stink in California and Florida, so the orange crop's not going to be as big, and therefore, if I buy my oranges now, they're going to be worth a lot more. They don't do commodities. So ask the commodities traders. Ask the foreign exchange traders. Don't ask a stock guy.
So according to Investopedia, the greater fool theory states, and thank you, by the way, Mortified Penguin, for the call tonight. I appreciate it.
Right on.
The greater fool theory states that it's possible to make money by buying securities, whether or not they are overvalued, by selling them for a profit at a later date. This is because there will always be someone, i.e. a bigger or greater fool, who's willing to pay a higher price. So that's what Jordan Belfort claims Bitcoin is. More coming up here in moments. 8:55, 450 free, like freedom. Join us on the radio. It's Free Talk Live.
From the 6th letter of Captain Mark. A pirate's life is characterized by voluntary interactions. Unfortunately, the Crown presses everyone into involuntary servitude. Landlubbers believe slavery was abolished years ago, but the Crown still claims to own us when it crimps us into service against our will. Given sufficient ambition, it would gladly draft thousands of hapless victims to kill or be killed. It's simply slavery by another name. Landlubbers are routinely commanded to serve the so-called justice system in jury duty. But before you swell with civic pride, consider that how you feel is irrelevant to the Crown. You will appear as ordered or face punitive measures. The Crown insists that you participate in your own oppression. A jury summons provides pirates with a unique opportunity to obstruct injustices. A juror can vote not guilty, even if it's proven the law was violated. A juror can acquit for any reason at all, and not even a judge can reverse that verdict. Receiving a jury summons is basically winning the sedition lottery. But if you reveal that you know this during jury selection, you'll probably be dismissed. If the Crown foolishly crimps a pirate into jury duty, it behooves the pirate to conceal their intention to nullify unjust laws. If a master takes 100% of your labor, it's called slavery. But if they only take 50%, they call it taxation, a difference of degree, not of kind. Whether the Crown claims a fortune or a cent is irrelevant. Most of all, a slave owner desires contented slaves, meaning thoughtless ones that accept their bondage. These house slaves see no contradiction in being drafted in a war to end slavery or summoned to a jury to prosecute tax evasion. An ideal slave knows no higher call than the master's will. The Crown's highest ambition is that its slaves revere the authority that subjugates them. But the Crown does not own me. I will not surrender my time and treasure to the Crown's ambitions. Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm. Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Hey, Free Talk Live here. We'll take your calls about what you want. You can dial in toll free. Take control of the airwaves. Bring up whatever's on your mind. We're going to get back into sex robots. But we ended up detouring into Jordan Belfort, who many of you may have seen The Wolf of Wall Street, the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. Pretty entertaining movie if you've never seen it. He takes Quaaludes, and well, I won't tell you what happens, but it's pretty ridiculous, as you might imagine.
Well, sounds like there's Quaaludes involved.
Yes, Quaaludes are involved, but not in the way that Bill Cosby used Quaaludes. I'll just say that much.
Okay.
We'll get back into that here. Your calls and thoughts certainly welcome. Bitcoin.com is a longtime sponsor here on Free Talk Live, and Bitcoin.com wants you to know that you can now use Bitcoin Cash at SaveItPurse.com. We've talked about Save It Purse for years here on Free Talk Live because it works. And we're big fans. We use Save It Purse. I guess I can say I know me and you, Mark. We've used it multitudes of times. I can't speak for you, Melanie. Are you a Save It Purse user?
I don't really buy stuff that much, so.
Well, if you ever do buy stuff, you can save 20% or more or less. It's up to you. You can decide what percentage you want to save, up to 33% off. You can save 20%. Usually I won't go any lower than 20%, and I will get whatever item it is that I want to get within, usually it gets ordered for me within 24 hours. It's basically anything you want to buy on Amazon. You decide the price discount that you get, and you can pay for it with Bitcoin. In fact, you have to pay for it with Bitcoin, and now you can use Bitcoin Cash. So if you're tired of the old Bitcoin, the old BTC with its slowness and high fees or tendency towards high fees, you can now use Bitcoin Cash natively over at saveatpurse.com. That's saveatpurse.com. If you like to save big time, and this is no joke, this sounds too good to be true. I get it. If you're new to the Free Talk Live, you're like, yeah, right. 20% off of Amazon. Sure. No, it's real. This actually is real.
Yeah, I mean, we do it all the time.
I've done it more than 120, I think 130 times over the last 3 years. Basically, everything I've ordered at Amazon has been through saveatpurse.com.
It's a little more inconvenient, but it's worth it for that kind of savings.
For 20% off, you better believe it.
We just purchased an item off of Amazon. I think it was hundreds of dollars.
Yep.
So when you get 20% off of $200, you're talking about $40. In this case, you have to make sure that you're there at home to receive it, and look at the package within a few hours. So you can't just have it delivered to your house and come back in days or something.
Yeah, you don't want to have it delivered while you're on vacation.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
That would be bad. Because the people on the other end, they're waiting for their crypto. They want to get their crypto. And so, anyway, it's really cool. Go to saveatpurse.com.
If you're confused by what we say, there's a video right there. Just go, sign up for your account, watch the video, fund the account, and you're in good shape.
All right, toll-free number tonight if you want to join us, 855-450, free like freedom. A little bit more from the so-called Wolf of Wall Street. He says that Bitcoin is based on the greater fool's theory, which suggests that he believes that Bitcoin isn't actually anything beyond speculation, people speculating on top of speculating on top of speculating.
Well, that's what it is. It's speculation.
No, it's not. It's a technology that is actually usable and useful in the marketplace. It's not pure speculation. There's a network behind it.
We just talked about one of the useful aspects of the technology.
There are people speculating on it, no doubt about it.
Yep.
But there's something to it. It's not like some pie-in-the-sky concept that people are saying is going to be a thing in the future. It's a thing now, and it's useful now. Now, arguably, Bitcoin BTC is not as useful as it once was because of its increased fees that it's been seeing over the last year or two. But the technology behind it, the blockchain technology, the idea of a decentralized, distributed public ledger, this is the advancement that is Bitcoin. It's not necessarily Bitcoin itself, because anything can be like Bitcoin. Others have copied Bitcoin and modified Bitcoin, and that's why you have Dash, and that's why you have these other cryptocurrencies, Zencash, and others that have sort of tried to improve upon the original formula, so to speak. But Belfort says Bitcoin's price surges, this is according to CNBC, are thanks to only a belief by buyers that there will continue to be greater fools who they can sell the asset to at a higher price. And that may be true. I mean, that may be part of what's pushed up Bitcoin's price. Bitcoin has traded near around $6,600 early this week. According to data from CoinDesk, in 2017, Bitcoin soared from below 1,000 to over 19,000 in December before plummeting at the start of the year. Quote, he says, there's no fundamental value with Bitcoin. It's all based on the next guy and the next guy. Get out if you don't want to lose all of your money, because there's a very good chance it's going to crack. And when it cracks, you're not going to be able to sell on the way down. There will be no liquidity.
So,
are you scared?
No, because they're asking a stock guy about investments and expecting a stock guy to say that other types of investments are a good idea. I've heard stock guys say things like, well, bonds aren't actually an investment.
Then what are they?
Well, because a stock guy is going to say an investment means that you need to put money into a company, employees are going to work, and since you're an owner, you're going to profit. That's what an investment is. Whereas
an investment's anything that could go up or down in value and involves risk. Right?
That's a definition as you define it, not as they're going to define it. Okay. I'm just telling you what I've experienced. When you're asking a stock guy about a commodity, in this case it's a virtual commodity, and he says there's no fundamental value. Okay, if I decided to liquidate the company, there would be no fundamental value. However, Bitcoin as a technology has been around since 2009.
Yep.
I've been involved since 2011. I have watched the greatest minds on the planet, not some huckster who spends 8 years in prison for selling crappy investments, but the greatest minds on the planet getting involved in this technology, building new infrastructure. So, no, Bitcoin doesn't own anything because it's not a company.
That's right.
But there are lots of companies that own lots of things that are based on the Bitcoin technology.
Correct.
So,
because it's open source and you don't have to license that thing.
To say that a technology that allows you to move money instantaneously, peer-to-peer, without any government or banking interference has no value is
ignorance.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's ignorance.
Yeah. Willful. It's either willful or just straight up ignorance. I mean, it's just... Are they doing this on purpose? He
doesn't want to think. I think many of these people don't want to think about it. Look, we have a functioning currency. What do you want a new currency for? Well,
this one works fine.
I want a new currency because people like you fund the military-industrial complex and blow up people's wedding parties around the world. What? Like, they don't want to have a conversation like that. They're not going to come on this show and defend the fiat government currency system because that'd be foolishness on their part.
According to the story at CNBC, of course, Belfort isn't alone. They cite billionaires Bill Gates and Warren Buffett have similarly criticized Bitcoin. Gates told CNBC on Squawk Box earlier this year, quote, "As an asset class, you're not producing anything, and so you shouldn't expect it to go up. It's kind of a pure greater fool theory type of investment." Right. Bitcoin and
you're
ICOs...
You're not producing anything, so you shouldn't expect it to go up, which means
they've produced a better money is what they've done. They've produced something that works better.
Just like oranges, just like pork bellies, just like gold.
But it's not just like those things because you can easily trade this particular commodity. You don't. If you're going to send somebody oranges, then there's packing, there's shipping, there's rotting, there's all kinds of problems.
Just get on the commodity exchange, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, and you'll find that you can exchange them very easily.
There's more coming up here in moments. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. You can join us here and take control of the airwaves on Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Healthcare reform is confusing, but whether it's finding an affordable insurance plan, keeping your doctor, or being able to afford needed prescriptions, navigating the healthcare system has become a challenge. Control your own healthcare costs and choices with Liberty HealthShare. Liberty HealthShare is not insurance. It is an association of self-pay patients who unite with like-minded people to share the cost of each other's medical needs. Neighbor helping neighbor. Learn more now by going to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
When you're coping with bad news and the news media come calling, and they will, don't clam up. As notorious political figures find out the hard way, the cover-up can be worse than the crime. So get out in front of unfavorable news about your company, your group, or organization, or yourself. The sooner you confront a negative story, the sooner it will be over. Responding as quickly to negative stories as you do to positive ones enhances your credibility. Hiding embarrassing information or lying will do more damage than damage control. Never stonewall. Tell your side of the story, use specifics, and detail what corrective action has already been taken. Respond in kind. If the issue is emotional, don't sound like a cold, unemotional Mr. Spock. For more tips on critical communication skills for the way things are now, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. Now, I don't know who it was that originally said that statement, but it's been passed around often enough, and it seems true enough. They are definitely not ignoring Bitcoin at this point. Some people are laughing, but I would say we're in the fighting phase. There's all kinds of attacks constantly against Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, especially by people in the sort of the money mainstream, whether it be on television, on the talking head shows, or in other forms of media in the Wall Street journals and CNBCs and elsewhere, or just regular old mainstream media. These guys are on the attack against cryptocurrency. The bankers, the heads of these big mega corporations, these money corporations, some of which are also simultaneously, while attacking cryptocurrency, quietly investing in cryptocurrency and crypto blockchain technology and things like that. So
which is really sad that you can get caught investing in cryptocurrency when you're trying to do it secretly. You got to be really bad at it.
Indeed. So we've got that story. Your calls, your thoughts are welcome. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE.
Probably Union leader Nicholas Klein in 1914. But he was trying to sum up Gandhi's thoughts.
Oh, the quote.
Yeah.
Okay. The first, they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you,
and then you win. By the way, this is just an axiom. It's not the truth.
It's observable, though. Like, you can see the pattern to some extent, right? In a lot of things.
Because you're looking at things that people won doing.
It's true. You could lose.
Right. Look at things that people lost doing and see whether or not it follows this pattern. In which case, it probably will. Like, they just got ignored. They got ignored and laughed at. They got ignored, laughed at, and fought against.
And they lost.
And then they lost.
Yeah, it can happen.
Right.
So we were talking about the Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort, on the attack against Bitcoin. But it's not just him. Bill Gates also claiming that Bitcoin is what they're calling a greater fool theory. Warren Buffett from Berkshire Hathaway agrees, also a longtime cryptocurrency critic. He explained Bitcoin's supposed lack of intrinsic value, saying, quote, "You're just hoping the next guy pays more. And you only feel you'll find the next guy to pay more if he thinks he's going to find someone that's going to pay more." As though that's all there is to Bitcoin. It's just some sort of pyramid scheme. It's some kind of Ponzi scam.
Well, I mean, of course that's what he's going to say. Look at it. The stock market's been on a run for 9 years now, right?
I don't know. I don't pay any attention.
Okay.
To the stock
market's been on a run for 9 years.
Okay.
Its average runs are 7.
So you're saying it's overdue for
What's
a fall?
going to happen?
It's going to fall.
Well, I mean, he wants his numbers up as high as he can get them for as long as he can get them. He's due for a fall, and where's the money going to go? Where do bears usually go when the stock market tanks?
Bears are people who...
Where do people put their money when the stock market tanks?
I don't know.
Oh, God. Anyone? No. Municipal bonds.
Okay.
Bonds. Gold. Silver.
Okay.
All right? They take the safe stuff.
Right.
At this point, it's possible some percentage, and it doesn't have to be large when it comes to the Bitcoin market cap, right? It doesn't have to be a lot of people to take this this step.
Bitcoin market cap's what, 100 billion right now?
Something like that.
Something like that.
But some percentage of these people, probably, if even as 1 or 2%, says, you know, it used to be gold I'd run to. Now I think I'm going to run to Bitcoin, or at least run partially to Bitcoin.
Sure.
If that happens, you're on your bull run again. And I expect...
You're saying it won't take much for a bull run.
It's not going to take much.
Proponents of the cryptocurrency, however, argue that...
Oh, by the way, the experts now are writing that basically Bitcoin can't go to zero.
Which experts?
People that write in these cryptocurrency articles.
Is that
are
because
out there.
It's so integrated? There's so much going on around it?
There's too much out there for it to just go away at this point. The people that are saying it's going to zero don't understand anything about it.
They definitely don't understand.
And they're just talking. Now, what you're trying to do is you're trying to cement this Wolf of Wall Street guy into his words. You're the tech writer out there saying, all right, Bill Gates said we'd never need more than 128K.
640K.
Whatever it was. I don't care. And when, obviously...
He was wrong.
Yeah, he was clearly wrong. By the way, when Bill Gates says that Bitcoin's not going to happen, what's IBM say? Because they say IBM is pretty thoroughly invested in blockchain right now. That might be a stock that I would be looking at.
But proponents, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, just somebody who's successful at running a company isn't necessarily successful in either cryptology or investments.
Sure.
And when Bill Gates tries to give investment advice, the only thing I think of is how long it takes Windows 10 to start, which is not really a direct causation, but it's just... I can't not go there.
Well, Windows 10's actually not so bad at starting up these days because of SSD drives, which can load anything faster, so the technology's
well, then it must
better.
be really bad, because if with all that it still takes 15 minutes sometimes.
You must be installing updates or something like that, but either way.
Yeah, it installs updates 27 times a day.
Proponents for cryptocurrency, however, argue the blockchain technology underpinning Bitcoin will revolutionize financial systems and become more valuable in the process. Bitcoin investor and venture capitalist Cameron Winklevoss told CNBC in February he estimates the market capitalization could reach $5 trillion, based on an analysis of the gold market. His twin brother Tyler Winklevoss added, quote, the criticisms are just a failure of the imagination. Financial institutions are also eyeing the industry. In May, Goldman Sachs announced plans to open a Bitcoin trading operation, and Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse told CNBC he anticipates dozens of banks will be using its blockchain products and cryptocurrency, which is called Ripple, by next year. For Belfort, the whole idea seems a bit too familiar. He says, quote, I lived this. I was the guy on the other side of it. I know what's going on. And this is the beginning of the end. So there you go.
All right. I've got
the
here
doom prediction
from BusinessInsider.com 11 hilariously wrong predictions about the internet.
Oh, wow.
In 1998 issue of Byte magazine, Edmund de Jesus made the claim that Y2K is a crisis without precedent in human history.
I remember Y2K. Man, they were really freaking out about that on Coast to Coast AM. Back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
They were selling all kinds of
Robert
products.
Metcalf, the inventor of Ethernet, wrote an article for InfoWorld. I used to have a subscription to that magazine in December 1995, in which he predicted, I predict the internet will soon go spectacularly supernova and in 1996 catastrophically collapse.
Oh, my.
1996.
Wrong.
We're okay. Yeah. Yep. Andrew Keene, the most prominent commentators in internet culture during Web 2.0 movement, thought the economic crisis of 2008 would have a huge impact on how we use the internet. Apparently not. Here it says he thought that Knoll, Google's Wikipedia competitor, would end up on top. So
Knoll, the hell is that?
Right, some site I've never heard of is the Wikipedia competitor, and Google would shut down Knoll back. Google shut down Knoll back in April 2012.
Google shut down a bunch of failed projects.
Well, you got
to try different things,
right? Yeah. That's the thing. That's the whole long tail theory here. Is you've got to fail 100 times to have 2 or 3 great projects.
Right.
Yeah, he predicted The Atlantic, that's a magazine, would overcome the Huffington Post, which is now the 15th largest site in the U.S. according to Quantcast. The Atlantic is 234th. The Atlantic puts out a lot of great articles, but not beating HuffPo. Despite
you mentioned Byte magazine earlier. Apparently that ended in July of 1998.
Yeah.
So they didn't see that one coming.
Despite Google's dominance of the search market, Keene thought people would come to prefer Mahalo, the human search engine, to Google because its results are more curated.
Yeah.
Just not happening.
And these are tech people making these predictions, a lot of them.
Hulu was going to overcome YouTube because of professional content.
Well, Hulu's still there, at least. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up what you want, take control of the airwaves. We can come back to sex bots or whatever next.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
If you like alkaline water, or know someone that does, you're going to love the Dylan Living Water Bottle. It creates alkaline water on the go while reducing plastic waste and saving you money. Made with surgical-grade stainless steel, the Dylan bottle increases the pH up to 9 to deliver both alkaline and antioxidant water anywhere you want it. Alkaline water is healthier, tastes better, and can even boost energy. The Dylan bottle makes it easy and affordable to be healthy and achieve optimal hydration. Get your Dylan bottle today at dyln.co. That's dyln.co.
Free Talk Live.
The only thing that separates government from the mafia is their cloak of legitimacy. The government is nothing more than an armed gang of violent people masquerading as though they're something else. They've got these PR systems in place to make people think that there's something special about their armed gang, to make them not realize that that's all they really are. They've got uniforms, they've got robes, they've got courtrooms, they've got this aura, they've got flags, they've got pledges of allegiance, they run the schools, they run the roads, they're everywhere. So you think that they're supposed to be there. They've been there since you've been born, so they must always have to be there. Well, that's not true. They're an organized gang of criminals. You know how I know they're criminals? Because they're using force on people, and that's wrong. It's just wrong to force people to do things.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free. If you want to take control of the airwaves, you can do that. Our number here is 855-450, free like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. I am right now crafting my nightly show prep post for the Free Talk Live forum, where I will include a link to the Wolf of Wall Street story and whatever other news that I cover here tonight on the show. I don't know if you guys post your prep anywhere, but you should ought to do it. If you're going to, you should do it on the forum at forum.freetalklive.com. That is where Free Talk Live listeners can go. One of the places that Free Talk Live listeners like you can go to interact with other Free Talk Live listeners, and some of the hosts of the program are also there as well. It's free to use it over at forum.freetalklive.com.
I hold all my show prep hostage, and then people can pay me for it.
Has that ever happened?
No.
Okay. So the toll-free number here tonight is 855-450, free like freedom. We've also got Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. Plus, there's the Discord on-air call-in line room at discord.lrn.fm. We're going to go back to your phone calls here in just a moment. However, I do want to continue with the discussion because I never really got to my question about these sex robot / sex doll brothels that are apparently a thing in Europe. There are at least 2 of them that one company has opened up. The company, according to dailystar.co.uk, is called Lumadolls, and they're looking to open up their 3rd location somewhere in Europe. And so apparently, some people are willing, presumably men, are willing to pay for a room in which they can then go and hump a doll. And, I don't get it personally, but whatever floats your boat.
Neither do the guys going in to get the dolls.
What's that?
Neither do the guys that go in and get the dolls.
You don't think they understand?
They don't
get it?
know.
They don't get it. It's a joke. It's a play on words.
They don't get sex, you mean, from females? Is that what you're referring to?
I want to die.
Ian, I don't think is a human.
Is that what you were referring to, though?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Thanks. So, yeah, I wasn't sure what you were referring to with it. Anyway, so my point here, my question is, we've talked about prostitution on Free Talk Live, about how it should be legal, and that it's just, sex and money, and, why can't you...
You can earn money.
Yeah.
You can have sex. Both of them are legal. You can't earn money by having sex. That's illegal.
So, I'm sure there are people out there that would tell us that sex with dolls should also be made illegal.
But most of those people also have other sex toys in their drawers at home
that they won't admit to.
So they can STF you.
So, but what I want to know is, why would it be legal to have sex with a doll but not have sex with a person? But to have sex with a person is also illegal.
Why is it illegal to pay to have sex? Why is it legal to pay to have sex with a doll,
but not a person?
Illegal to pay to have sex with a person.
Well, the prostitution statutes, as they stand, probably only cover humans.
Persons?
Yeah, I'm sure.
And just because it never occurred to them when they were writing them that might
there would be
cover
a sex
anything
doll.
else.
Right, because ultimately, is what's illegal about sex with another person for money? Is it the fact that that person has a soul? That person's another living, breathing human being? Because fundamentally, what's the difference between, somebody humping a doll in a bed versus somebody humping somebody that they're paying to be there, essentially
one
their doll?
One is definitely more risky than the other for
as far as
STDs?
Reasons.
STDs, babies, all that.
But that's not the reason they made it illegal.
But it's also, you can, I think the argument can be made, And they should both be legal. It should be legal to be as weird as you want, and then people can disassociate from you if they want to. But I think the argument can be made that one is more harmful than the other.
Harmful to the individual?
Yeah.
Or harmful to society?
Just sleeping with 7 random people a day can't be good for you, even if you avoid all the physical consequences of that.
But of course, in a legal prostitution market, there are remediations and there are issues that these professionals deal with. They deal with STDs. They insist their customers use protection. It's relatively clean, from what I understand.
Right. So there is no form of protection that is 100%, and everyone will tell you that. So that risk is still there, even if it's 2% instead of 100%.
But what's the risk of an STD left over in a badly cleaned doll? I mean, couldn't somebody pick up, if the cleaning guy doesn't do a good job on the dolls, and you get an open sore on your genitalia, in theory you could pick something up.
Or the cleaning person gets this STD just from an open cut.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. So I'm sure that.
So there could be a risk there.
But because the dolls aren't biological organisms themselves, I'm sure the risk is much lower.
Do you think that it was the risk of STD that made it...
But then you're only... I don't know. But then you're only getting rid of the physical risks. You're not getting rid of the, this is probably a bad plan for your life kind of risks.
What do you mean? Having sex with a prostitute?
Or either that, or from the prostitute standpoint... I don't imagine that that's good for your mental health. Like, there's no way, no one...
Oh, I disagree. I mean, there will be sex professionals who will tell you they are just fine mentally. They make a lot of money. They save that money. They went to college with it or whatever. There's all kinds of people with positive stories. They're not all a bunch of deadbeat drunks and drug users. I didn't say they were deadbeat drunks.
This is a difficult topic for anyone to take on and not put themselves in, like, good people put themselves in the shoes of others about whom they're talking. Mm-hmm. Melanie, good person.
Sure.
Trying to imagine what her life would be like if she was a prostitute, knowing that it would affect her mental state horribly. What we have to realize here is that, yes, it horribly affects the mental state of some prostitutes.
Sure.
Yes, some prostitutes can do this without it affecting their mental state horribly.
Professionals, yep.
So one way or the other, I don't know. What I would say about this is that, yes, somebody wants to stop rubber doll sex, and if you want evidence, all you have to do is look for the articles where people have been arrested for having rubber dolls of children.
Yeah, that was an issue, or it has been an issue, and will continue likely to be an issue.
So that's where it comes in the door, right? So if having sex with a rubber doll is okay, but having sex with a diminutive rubber doll is not okay.
They haven't prohibited that yet, though, have they?
They're arresting people for it. They don't know how, they don't know why, but they're doing it.
Simulated child porn is illegal in some jurisdictions.
So my question is really for people, if there's somebody out there that believes, oh yeah, prostitution should be illegal, but sex with a doll should be legal, well, what about sex with a robot?
Robots aren't people.
Okay, but what about sex with a robot when they start to really look like people? What about sex with a robot when the robot really starts to act like people? Because right now you just got, presumably, dolls that just lay there. Eventually, the robot would, presumably do other things once it's programmed to do those things and respond to you. What about the robot that can pass the Turing test and you can't tell the damn difference between whether it's a human or not? So where do you draw the line? If you're drawing the line and saying that it's okay to have sex with a doll, but it's not okay to have sex for money with a human being, where does that line actually get drawn?
I think that is
why?
And legally I wouldn't draw it anywhere, but I think that is a pretty solid human, not human line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these aren't
it's solid between a doll and a human, but it's not so solid between a robot.
Yes, it is, because it's a robot is still a machine.
Yeah, but if you can't tell the difference, then is it really a robot? I mean, obviously it is a robot, but if you can't tell, if you ask it a bunch of questions and it passes the Turing test, which is a test in order to tell, the level of intelligence.
The Turing test is not really for that. The Turing test is usually done or always done in the absence of any other signals other than just text. So that I don't know if that's even a valid standard for a in-person Android test. But there's still, as long as you know it's a robot and you don't think it's a person, which is just a separate issue, there is a solid line between human beings and machinery. So while you might have a different opinion on the creepiness level of any of this, which I don't really see how it's all that different, yeah, there is a valid line to be drawn at humans.
Robots are obviously going to drive humans out of the sex industry once they become lifelike enough. The reason being is because sex is still significant to humans. It is insignificant to robots, right? Like, it's not just another act that I'm programmed to do.
Sure.
Meaningless. For a robot will have sex for a Tic Tac or $1,000. So pricing structure doesn't fit in there.
And the robot doesn't care if it gets the $1,000, and or that just goes to the pimp.
An attractive woman may have sex for $1,500. She will not have sex for $150.
Plus, the economics is also going to edge out humans, I think, in this. Because as you pointed out, one maintenance person is a lot cheaper to employ than a whole gaggle of female or human prostitutes.
Yeah.
There's more coming up here. 855-450 free. And again, the robots don't care if they get a cut of the money. 855-450-3733. More coming up. Free Talk Live.
Normal blood pressure, naturally. How would that make you feel?
I'm Don from New Mexico. January of 2000, I had a heart attack. Then my real health began going downhill. I had high blood pressure, diabetes, poor vision. I wasn't sleeping well. I was a mess.
Don reports dramatic improvements with Heart and Body Extract.
I started taking Heart and Body Extract. From within a few days, I started sleeping better. My blood pressure normalized. My diabetes normalized. My sleep improved.
Experience these benefits and more when your body heals itself with the assistance of Heart and Body Extract. Order at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. That's hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305.
And folks, I did not expect this at all. By the 7th, 8th, and 9th day, I saw dramatic improvements from taking Heart and Body Extract.
Heart and Body Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com. The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, July 9th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.17 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,265 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $22, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,719. Antiwar.com reports an ongoing U.S. and Afghan military offensive against the Islamic State in the Nangarhar province is coming to an end soon. Officials say that the target, the border area of Da Bella, will be totally cleared in the operation. U.S. officials are saying that the area on the border with Pakistan was going to be used to attack the cities of Kabul and Jalalabad. The report appears designed to suggest this offensive, once finished, will more or less totally remove the Islamic State from the bulk of the Nangarhar province. This is something we've heard before, of course. years. Time and again, offensives against the Islamic State and Nangarhar have killed scores or even hundreds of suspects and ended with claims of total victory. Time and again, the Islamic State has reemerged within weeks after the end of the offensive with no apparent long-term losses. This particular offensive appears to have been little more than a matter of convenience for U.S. forces at any rate. The declaration of a ceasefire by the Afghan government at the end of Ramadan meant the U.S. could not attack the Taliban for a while, and they decided to escalate the fighting against the Islamic State instead. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend-A-Bit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend-A-Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. UPI reports the First Church of Cannabis in Indiana will not be allowed to use cannabis as a religious sacrament as long as cannabis is illegal in the state, according to a judge's ruling. The church argued that it should be allowed to use marijuana for religious use under the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, but Marion County Superior Judge Cheryl Lynch rejected that view because the state has a compelling interest to prohibit marijuana to fight drug trafficking. Lynch wrote in her opinion, "The undisputed evidence demonstrates that permitting a religious exemption to laws that prohibit the use and possession of marijuana would hinder drug enforcement efforts statewide and negatively impact public health and safety," adding that police officers would have to differentiate between religious use and non-religious use of cannabis. Lynch said it is compelling and appropriate to treat the illicit drug market in a unitary way. Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill praised Lynch's ruling, saying, "I appreciate the court's fidelity to both the law and to common sense. Indiana's law against the possession, sale, and use of marijuana protects the health, safety, and well-being of the Hoosiers statewide. When the state has justifiable and compelling interest at stake, no one can evade the law simply by describing their illegal conduct as an exercise of religious faith." In response, Bill Levin, who founded the church in 2015, said cannabis is safer than Curtis Hill, adding that he plans to appeal the ruling. Bitcoin Not Bombs is a launching pad for nonprofits and social entrepreneurs into the financial freedom of the Bitcoin economy. Bitcoin Not Bombs offers premium publicity campaigns designed to facilitate an organization's adoption of Bitcoin as a payment system and to fully capitalize on that decision in their fundraising efforts. Bitcoin Not Bombs is fully committed to being the hub of the nonprofit sector of the Bitcoin economy, maximizing the potential cross-promotion of all our clients and commercial partners. BitcoinNotBombs.com. Reuters reports health insurers warned that a move by the Trump administration on Saturday to temporarily suspend a program that was set up to pay out $10.4 billion to insurers for covering high-risk individuals last year could drive up premium costs and create marketplace uncertainty. The Affordable Care Act's Risk Adjustment Program is intended to incentivize health insurers to cover individuals with pre-existing and chronic conditions by collecting money from insurers with relatively healthy enrollees to offset the cost of other insurers with sicker ones. President Donald Trump's administration has used its regulatory power to undermine the ACA on multiple fronts after the Republican-controlled Congress last year failed to repeal and replace the law propelled by Democratic President Barack Obama. About 20 million Americans have received health insurance coverage through the Affordable Care Act. America's Health Insurance Plans, a trade group representing insurers offering plans via employers, through government programs, and in the individual marketplace, said the suspensions by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services would create a new market disruption at a critical time when insurers are setting premiums for the next year. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
A new Gallup poll found that the GOP has an overwhelming advantage among young people who look like old men. The poll shows Republicans hold a solid lead among the coveted elderly youth demographic, including 18 to 24-year-olds who wear suspenders and bow ties to class every day. I'm joined by Republican strategist Rob Powell. These are pretty encouraging numbers for the GOP, aren't they?
Yeah, of course, it's very encouraging. Millennials who look like they're permanently dressed for boat trips are a rapidly growing segment of the population.
And according to the survey, the prematurely aged are also very politically active.
Absolutely. Only about 20% of young people vote overall, but there's almost 100% turnout among youth that dress like a dad from a 1950s sitcom.
Now, what about the criticism that the GOP only appeals to white men?
Not true. We also have a lot of support among sorority girls that wear pantsuits and pearls, paunchy Chinese college students, and we're making inroads among African American ham radio enthusiasts.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and you're invited to join us here on the radio. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Skype username is lrn.fm. And we've got Discord. The Discord on-air call-in line room is open and available to you over on our Discord server at discord.lrn.fm. Joining you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian,
Melanie,
and Mark.
Coming up, we're going to talk about human sacrifice and video game rape. But first, it's Julian in Indiana, listening online via YouTube. Go ahead, Julian.
Hey, I want to know how everyone in that room feels about the recent trend that cops have been putting on in communities and among minorities. Like today, recently, there was this cop that pulled a gun on children. How do you feel about that?
Okay, you're a little bit muffled. I'm not sure exactly what the question was. Can you re-ask it and maybe slow down a little bit?
All right.
Hello? Okay. Could anyone make... He just hung up. Could anyone make anything out as far as what that question was?
Cops,
something about a cop
children, minorities.
pulling a gun on children?
Yeah, about cops.
You have opinions on police, Melanie?
Yeah, so I'm anti-police. I'm even more anti them randomly shooting at children of any race. I don't know why that was, like, supposed to be, like, a difficult question for us.
I don't know if it was supposed to be difficult. Maybe he was honestly just curious. Maybe he's a new listener of the program, and we always get new people through the radio, he said he was watching on YouTube. We've got people on Twitch, twitch.lrn.fm is our Twitch channel. We're critics of the police here on Free Talk Live in general. Melanie, you're probably the most...
doesn't mean a hater.
Well, Melanie is a hater.
I am a hater of police and anybody else who commits aggression for 40-plus hours a week every week.
I say I'll take libertarians on a police force any day over non-libertarians. And it was law enforcement officers that taught me the ideas of liberty originally.
Right, and I'd take the flu over HIV. That doesn't mean it's not a virus and is bad and should be
Well, there's
killed.
supposedly a Free Stater cop that got put on the job in a town nearby to here. I don't know if I'm privy to say which town. But apparently that guy hassled somebody's kid over not wearing a helmet while they were on their bicycle. So much for your libertarian cop.
Yeah, there's no such thing. Even if you could somehow manage to go through your career without enforcing a single victimless crime, which I find a completely absurd allegation, you're still committing assault every time you put on the uniform and step into where anyone can see you. I've been held to that caveat before. So yes, if you stand in your closet by yourself in a cop uniform, you're not violating that. The second you walk into...
The non-aggression principle?
Right, the second you walk into where other people can see you wearing... If you walk into public wearing a cop uniform, you're committing assault
How is
against
that
everyone.
assault?
Because you're communicating to everyone else that you are willing to enforce laws. That is how you communicate that.
But that's not the same thing as assault. I mean, assault is an actual crime with a victim. Don't you have to wait until the person actually commits an act beyond walking onto the street?
Okay, so we might be using different definitions of assault versus battery.
Okay.
You're committing a threat of violence against everyone else.
Well, you're presuming that there's a threat of violence, and it may be a safe presumption in the case of
Okay, but
many
they're the
cops.
ones communicating a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, your interpretation is what we're talking about here. You're saying that they're communicating to you their willingness to use violence against peaceful people, and I think that by and large, you're probably onto something there. However, we have talked to police who do say that they will avoid charging people with...
Avoid does not mean won't do.
Well,
it also still has nothing to do with whether or not wearing a police uniform communicates certain things.
But what if they won't do it? What if
I like my philosophy to have a practical basis, and it sounds to me, Melanie, like what you're saying. What should a police officer do once they understand the ideas of liberty?
Not be a police officer
What
anymore.
does that stop? How does that stop violence? Somebody will be hired in their position, correct?
Okay, so just because somebody worse than you is going to... So
just because bad things will happen if you do something,
things will
should
get
you
worse.
do it?
You said things will get worse if this person leaves their position.
No, I didn't. I said violence wouldn't stop. Of course, violence isn't going to stop.
No, but
from
you
one
were just
cop
saying something
quitting.
about somebody worse would get in.
Right. If there's 5 positions in the police force...
Maybe they won't be worse. Maybe they'll just be really lazy. We don't really know. But even if they are, so if you're a hitman and you kill 10 people a year at your position in the mafia... And you know if you quit, somebody else is going to come in and maybe they'll kill more people. That does not justify you continuing to be a hitman for the mafia.
No, it doesn't justify that.
And a cop is the enforcement arm of the state. It's one of the most evil things imaginable. No, you don't get to do it under, Walter Block's concentration camp argument.
I'm not familiar with it. But either way, if you want to comment, you're welcome to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. So what you're saying is...
I'd like to talk about the harassment of somebody wearing a bicycle helmet.
A child of some sort, a young person.
By a free stater.
Supposed free stater.
A libertarian cop.
Well, just because somebody's an FSP member doesn't mean they're anarchist or voluntarist or libertarian of any kind. It means they signed a thing one time.
No. The Free State Project has a statement that people sign that says they believe the maximum role of government should be the protection of life, liberty, and
he was
the pursuit of
protecting life.
happiness.
He was protecting
Melanie,
life. On a bicycle.
I already have your opinion on this subject. I know what it is. The guy should quit his job and stop being a cop. Ian, on the other hand, wouldn't make that statement, so I need to get a statement from him on this one.
On what?
If you're a police officer, a libertarian police officer, and you recommend to a young man on a bicycle that he wear...
Oh, it's not a recommendation. This is a threat.
Did he get a ticket?
Why is it a threat once you say to do something, but just standing there is not a threat? Whereas if I walked up to a kid and was like, you should wear a helmet, that's not a threat, right?
That's not a threat because you're not going to hurt the person.
Doing it is a threat, so you do agree that a uniform conveys some level of threat.
A uniform, no, I'm not agreeing with you there. I'm saying that when the cop says you do this or else, that's a threat.
Did the cop say you do this or else? Or
as I understand it, there was a threat of a ticket.
Okay.
Meaning the parents would get a ticket in this particular case.
The parents would get a ticket, but what if the threat was, if it isn't me, or you could get a ticket, or there's a whole bunch of ways to, well, it's not always going to be you in the police car when the kid goes by. Ultimately, you need to wear a helmet when you're in a bicycle in a state where it's legal, or you're going to get a ticket. That's not a cop threatening you. That's them informing you of what's going to occur.
That's called a threat. If that person's going to ticket you, then that's a threat.
No, you're going to get a ticket.
If you're saying the cop is telling this person, hey, I'm not going to enforce this on you, but there are other agents.
Why would I do that as a cop? Why would I tell you, hey, kid, if you see me, everything will be fine?
Yeah,
but you're going to get a ticket if you continue to roll around like this.
The fair interpretation of someone wearing a uniform of an agency that regularly robs people, walking up to you and saying that you're going to get robbed if you don't do what they say, is that that person is going to rob you. You cannot expect every 7-year-old that drives by on a bicycle to be at the just asinine
I'm
level
not
of a
expecting
lawyer.
them to. I'm only saying, hey, 7-year-old, you're going to get a ticket if you continue to not wear
Well, he
a
wouldn't
helmet.
get a ticket if there's only one cop in town, and the cop's a purported libertarian. And as I understand
where the cop
it,
is,
in this
and
town,
more
there's
than
only one cop.
That is incorrect.
Really?
You are mistaken.
Okay. Well, he's the chief of police. So if he's a
now
real
he's got to go ripping up the tickets of his police officers?
Yes, if he's a chief if he's a chief of police, he can inform his officers, no, you do not write tickets for victimless crimes in this town.
All right.
If you do, you're fired.
Now I'm a parent in that town, and my kid falls off his bicycle, bangs his head on the side of the curb, and now I'm suing the police department.
There's no liability.
You can't.
What?
There's no liability.
There's no liability there.
Are you telling me I can't sue
She's
a
an
town?
attorney. She's telling you that.
I'm telling you, you're not going to win, and you're not going to get a settlement.
Will the town...
Where's your standing?
How much will the town have to pay in lawyers' fees in order to defend against this? $10,000? $20,000?
Not if they have in-house counsel that they're already paying.
You're talking about a town in New Hampshire.
They're going to go out and hire a lawyer. They have qualified immunity.
Yes, they are.
It's going to get tossed right out. All they got to do is file one motion in court. It's done. All right, more coming up here in moments. 855
There's a law. They didn't enforce it.
They have no obligation to. 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves. No obligation to protect. Go look it up.
Get fired.
It's Free Talk Live.
And not to mention the shedding, I would vacuum the carpet 3 times a week. Frodo was scratching all night long, bouncing on the side of the bed, keeping me awake the whole entire night from all the scratching and chewing. It kind of makes you neurotic.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy?
Mounds and mounds of fur all over the place.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
Dinovite is nutrition.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
He gobbles it up. He's not up all night scratching. His shedding is minimal, and it is such a pleasure to have my calm, relaxed, non-shedding puppy back. And I have to thank Dinovite for that.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves here and bring up what you want. Mark's authoritarian side is showing pretty crystal clear here tonight, arguing that a so-called libertarian police chief should be cracking down on kids riding their bicycles without their helmets on. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. And want to make sure you know about the Blink home security system. It doesn't get any easier than the Blink home security system as far as installing is concerned. In fact, as far as using, it's really a simple system and it's super easy to set up. You unbox it when you get it, you put the batteries into the cameras because they're wireless, and that means you can just pop them up wherever it is you darn well feel like it. Now, obviously, there's a certain range. You can't put it too far, like in another house a long distance away or something like that. But if you've got a home, just a normal home, then you should be good to go. So maybe a small office or something like that, because there is a hub. There's a wireless hub that's the only wire in the system. It plugs into the wall, so it can be powered. And then the cameras themselves are run off of batteries, so you don't actually have to go through ridiculous setup costs of having some professional install or drilling holes in your walls or all that. It's super easy to do. I don't think it could get any easier. BlinkProtect.com/FTL is how you get 15% off. You can get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys. And again, that extra 15% off by going to BlinkProtect.com/FTL. You set it all up via Wi-Fi enabled device like your smartphone or tablet. And then you'll get notices on your device wherever you happen to be when something happens in front of the cameras at your house or, again, your small office. I think it'd be fine, too. BlinkProtect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. As we continue here, our toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. Our Skype username is LRN.FM. The Discord on-air call-in line room is discord.lrn.fm. We're talking about the police. There was actually a caller who brought this up. It wasn't a subject we were necessarily going to discuss. In fact, coming up here, Melanie, you're going to be telling us about human sacrifice.
It's kind of like the police.
But was there more that you guys wanted to say on this issue, or should we just move into the human sacrifice?
Which issue are you referring to?
The police.
Ultimately, if you're a libertarian in a government position, you've got to make hard choices. And those hard choices aren't definitely not going to make all libertarians happy.
Mm-hmm.
And what I would say is keep your chin up. Not everybody's impractical as Ian, and just ignore the haters. You got to do the best job you can do for a given circumstance, and that's how it is. Look for the greater good. If you're a libertarian police chief,
according to whom?
You. Who else would it be? If you're a libertarian police chief in New Hampshire, your ultimate goal should be to become sheriff of your given town where you're elected, and then you can
county.
Given county, and then you can run your department in a fashion that is as close to the ideas of liberty as you can get away with and still get reelected.
So there are government positions that you can have, and there are government politician positions that you can have where you don't have to violate the NAP in order to do your job.
That's the non-aggression principle.
If a job requires you to initiate force, then you should not take that job. I mean, there's no amount of aggression that's acceptable because it's for the... I mean, your argument can be used to justify the state. There's no amount of aggression that's acceptable in order to promote some greater good.
The toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. So we've got quite the spectrum here of opinions on this. Melanie says no libertarian should ever be a cop ever because it's immoral. Mark says, well, we're better off having libertarian cops than total authoritarian cops, so why not? And I got to say, I lean more towards you on this, Mark, because it's more of a realistic perspective. We're saddled with the state. It's not something that's going to disappear tomorrow as much as I might like it to. As much as if I would, were given the magical button to press it and get rid of the state, I would do it. But that's not going to happen. The reality is we have to convince people to reject the idea of the state.
Which is easier to probably do if you're not wearing a police uniform. Hello, people, I'm a cop. Please reject the ideas of the state.
Well, actually, I think there's a lot to be said for a cop who goes into a political hearing and testifies against, let's say, the war on drugs.
Right, so that's going... There are political positions that you can move forward as a cop.
Yeah.
Especially as a police
chief. There's value
chief.
there, though.
But that is a completely different thing than bringing the ideas of liberty to people. So how much aggression is it okay to commit in order to maintain this position?
I don't think it's okay to commit aggression. So I'm with you on the morality question. I'm not okay with that. But I'm in the real world understanding that right now people believe in the state. I want that to change, but it's not going to change overnight. We'll be lucky if it changes within our lifetime.
I mean, so then are you making a lifeboat argument? Because...
No, I'm saying in the meantime, there are going to be people who call themselves the police. They are going to enforce these stupid laws passed by politicians. But I would agree with Mark that if there are more of these people who are enforcing fewer laws and enforcing the ones that actually have victims instead of the ones that don't, then I think that puts us in a better position generally.
But it's not physically possible to be a cop and also only enforce crimes with victims.
It may not be completely possible, but once you get past the initial training phase and you've basically gotten to the point where you can't get fired, then you can cut down significantly on your enforcement of victimless crimes.
Okay, but then you're saying that there's a amount of aggression that you're willing to tolerate for the greater good. How is that different than a state?
I'm not saying I'm happy about it. I'm just saying that's reality.
But you're saying it's the pragmatic approach that you're willing to tolerate.
Well, we understand what world we live in today.
I tolerate the full-on aggression because I'm not doing anything about it. I'm not going and scattering nails.
You are doing things about it.
I'm speaking out against it, but I'm not going scattering nails underneath a Bearcat. You know, I'm not lighting buildings on fire.
Bearcats have solid rubber tires.
You have physically interfered with the cops in the past, though. So
I
you
have
protested.
Done things about I have interfered with government administration. That's absolutely true. I've done more than the average person, right? As far as, I've done more than just complain. That much is true. But I'm not dedicating my entire life and throwing myself completely into the gears of the system in order to be crushed underneath it to set an example every single day.
Between saying, I do not, at this point, have the firepower to make the state completely go away, versus it's
firepower is not going to make the state go away. I've got news for you.
Or whatever it is
you can use violence against the state. It's going to make it stronger. If you use violence against the state, they will absorb that and they will turn it back around against you and they will use you as the excuse as to why they need to exist.
Well, then that sounds like you don't have enough if there's still some of them left to do that. But whatever it is you think you need to get rid of the state.
You can go out and kill every state actor tomorrow and it won't end the state. It won't end the state because the state exists in people's minds. And even if you were to somehow do that, which of course is impossible, but even if you were to somehow have some sort of mass extermination of state agents, you're going to find other people becoming the state after that.
Okay, but
they're going to double down. They're going to say, my God, we're under attack. We need more Bearcats. We need more MRAPs. We need more bombs.
Whatever it is that you think you need to completely dissolve the state, saying that you don't have that yet, therefore you can't do it, is different than saying it's therefore okay to be a cop.
I didn't say that it's okay to aggress. I just said that's what's happening, and I'd rather see Mark's position of less aggression, cops who are less likely to use violence against peaceful people. That can happen.
Then why can't we just let minarchists do that? Why do we have to advocate that anarchists and voluntarists become cops?
I didn't advocate that. We're coming up here in a moment.
That.
The toll-free number here is 855.
Sound like the awful at it.
450-FREE, 855-450-3733. It's Free Talk Live.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. $39.95 and free economy shipping. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
Broadcasting to over 1,000 radio stations, GCN programming is in all of the largest markets. A GCN advertising career could be the business opportunity you've been waiting for. Companies need hardworking representatives just like you to handle their needs, while you earn residual income which can last for years. Companies are buying and they need you. Email advertise@gcnlive.com or call 877-996-4327. That's 877-996-4327.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You dial toll free if you want. You can take control of the airwaves here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Want to remind you, if you are a cryptocurrency advocate, if you're an activist, if you're somebody who wants to see crypto get more adoption amongst average folks, we've come up with a pretty cool tool. It's called the Crypto Tip. You can go to cryptotip.org. It is in beta. It is a public beta right now, and it works. So you can actually try this out. It's a printable business card size tip that you can go and purchase as many of them as you want. You can print usually 6 per page. So, you can get 1, you can get 6, you can get however many you want. And you can have it in the amount that you want. I recommend a higher value on this than, let's say, $1 or something like that. Shoot for 5, 10 if you can afford to do that. And then you give this out at to a service provider. So, you're getting your hair cut or you're, out at dinner or something like that. And the server, you leave a nice cash tip. So, leave a good cash tip if you got good service. And then leave your crypto tip on top of that. That way the server will take an interest, hopefully, in the crypto tip that you've left. So what happens if they don't cash in the tip? What happens if they don't collect the crypto that you've left for them? Well, it comes back to you.
Yeah, it bounces back.
So you get to set the expiration date on this thing. You put in your crypto wallet address when you sign up for it, and then poof, it just comes right back to you, and it's yours again. So there's very little risk here to using these things. You don't just lose a bunch of cryptocurrency if the people you give these tips to don't actually activate them, and most people won't. They're just, they don't know what it is or whatever.
As time goes by, I think more and more will. But yeah, they
now you're lucky to get, I think, 1 in 10, even here in Keene, New Hampshire, where crypto is relatively highly penetrated.
Think about this. If somebody left a little piece of paper on the table that said, if you go through these steps, you will get $5.
Right.
Some people are going to go through those steps, and some people aren't.
That's correct, which is why I do 10.
It doesn't even have to be crypto. It just, whatever it is. Like, the more money it is, the more likely it is they'll go through the steps.
Right.
Because there's steps, and it's not easy. It's not something they've ever done. They've got to take time out of their busy day to figure out how to do it.
That's why I want to make it worth their while. That's why I want to shoot for like $10 at least. Some people are saying 20 is what you ought to do, but obviously you should only do what you can afford to lose in this case. So if you're an advocate, if you want more people to find out about crypto, this is a great way to do it. It's an excellent outreach tool, and it's free if you want to use it. It's not free in that it costs you nothing, but what I mean is there's no fee if you want to avoid the fee. So you can donate to the site if you want while you're buying these crypto tips, or not. So you can choose to not donate, and then it's just the raw cost of whatever you put on the tips. Go to cryptotip.org. You can try it out there at cryptotip.org. It's currently only for Dash, but at some point we may add other cryptos to it in the future based on what people tell us they want, and once we get the system perfected and it's working really well.
Sounds like something that should go on the Dash network thing there. If they could come pre-charged with $5 or $10 tips, then imagine people would drop them all over the places for tips.
Yeah, if somebody wants to do that, then that's certainly something they can put forward. I think that would be hard to deal with, Mark, because the Dash people understandably want accountability when it comes to the Dash that's being spent from the Treasury, and there would be no way to have accountability for this because it'd just be like, oh yeah, I printed out 1,000 of those crypto tips and handed them all out. Yeah. And you wouldn't have any idea if they actually did those things and were just collecting them themselves. So, right. That would be rife with fraud. Anyway, if you are wanting to check it out, go to cryptotip.org. As we continue here, Melanie, let's talk about human sacrifice. Sounds like this has to be one of the topics I don't think we've ever covered here on Free Talk Live. We've talked about consensual cannibalism, but that's not the same thing.
Well, most people don't give you that opportunity.
No, that's true. Somebody is.
We don't just usually randomly pick up topics. We talk about things that people did.
Yeah, it's not really in the news, human sacrifice anymore.
So there is a person who is some type of scientist or archaeologist, or I'm not sure exactly what her qualifications are, but she did write and get this article at least accepted into a science journal.
What's her name?
Lizzie Wade.
Okay.
And she was writing about the Aztecs. And when you're writing about the Aztecs, you're going to write about a lot of murder because they were really good for that. And in the actual article she wrote, I feel like it kind of leans that way where she's kind of defending it, but she doesn't defend it outright. So I can't...
She's defending human sacrifice? Kind of?
Yeah, in the article itself, I can't really say. So the worst thing she says in the article itself...
Is it this woman like wearing these glasses, Lizzie Wade, L-I-Z-Z-I-E, Wade?
Yes.
She is, according to this, at sciencemag.com... She is a contributing correspondent for Science, covers archaeology in Latin America for the magazine from her home in Mexico City. Graduated from Barnard College in 2008 with a degree in comparative literature. She studied translation theory at the National Autonomous University of Mexico as a Fulbright scholar. So she studied literature.
Okay, so I mean, and whether she's qualified as an archaeologist or not, kind of is beside the point of whether she should have said any of this. So in the article itself, I'll read this paragraph. Maybe I can't read this paragraph on the air. But she said...
is it profane?
It's graphic violence.
No, graphic violence should be okay.
It should be all right.
Parents, you're being warned. Graphic violence.
Go ahead.
Okay, so priests carried the body to another ritual space where they laid it face up, armed with years of practice, detailed anatomical knowledge, and some kind of blades, sharper than today's surgical...
Obsidian?
Yes.
Okay. This is a form of rock. When it's chipped...
Black, right?
Yeah, it's a black rock, and it's chipped. It is very, very sharp.
Okay.
So they made clubs, flat clubs like a cricket club.
Yeah.
But they lined the sides of it with this obsidian, making effectively something like an axe or a blade.
Huh.
No thrusting blade, but a chopping blade.
Okay.
Okay, well, and then they describe in somewhat detail this decapitation after they were already stabbed to death, because they stabbed them to death through the heart first.
This was the Aztecs?
Yes.
Okay.
So then she describes that, and then she says, eventually, after months or years in the sun and rain, a skull would begin to fall to pieces, losing teeth and perhaps even its jaw. The priest would remove it to be fashioned into a mask and placed in an offering, or use mortar to add it to towers of skulls that flanked the, I'm not even going to try to TZOM, whatever.
Creepy. Okay.
Some building for they had buildings of skulls, and they also had walls of skulls, so whichever one that is.
All right.
For the Aztecs, the larger cultural group to which the Mexicana belonged, these skulls were the seeds that would ensure the continued existence of humanity. They were a sign of life and regeneration, like the first flowers of spring.
That's a strange
really
thing to say.
Creepy thing to say about stabbing a bunch of people to death.
Right. The skull from a sacrifice is a symbol of life.
Yeah. And so, but you can make the argument, well, if you're supposed to be describing a society, you're describing what they believe. You don't necessarily agree with it. That's not how I would have phrased it, but I'm also not an archaeologist, so...
Okay.
I don't know that that's entirely damning, but...
Does she say more?
Yeah.
Is offensive? Okay.
So then she says, but the Spanish conquistadors who marched into that city in 1519,
Tenochtitlan,
I guess,
okay,
saw them differently. For them, the skulls and the entire practice of human sacrifice evinced the Mexicana's barbarism and justified laying waste to the city in 1521.
Yeah. These people sacrifice people, so we must slaughter them. Because that makes sense.
How many lives did they save by doing it?
By slaughtering a people?
Yeah, by slaughtering the leaders. They didn't go through and wipe out the poor people. They needed them to dig gold out of the mountains.
Great.
So
yeah. So whether or not the Spanish were good people or not is a separate issue. And if you're going around only stopping human sacrifice in areas that just happen to have a lot of gold, you're probably not a good guy.
Well, and how common was the sacrifice? Was it like every day?
This was... Have you seen any Aztec history at all?
No.
This was entirely rampant. This was a...
Like every day they're slaughtering their
I don't know
own people?
about every day, but there was like
Once a week?
massive hundreds of thousands of... It was... Yeah.
Okay, so she gonna defend this coming up?
Yes.
All right, 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We'll get into that here in moments. Your calls and thoughts also welcome. In the remaining moments of Free Talk Live, coming up next.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite.
Dinovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You pop open the Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. You dial 911 and the police roll. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime, which is why I chose Blink. Get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Over the last 4 years, 3 of the biggest online precious metals dealers have gone bankrupt and their owners put in prison due to theft and fraud. Having previously purchased precious metals, can you be sure you purchased the right product? Did you receive proper advice? Or were you stung by one of these companies? Miles Franklin has been in business for 29 years without receiving any material customer or regulatory complaints ever. Maintaining an A-plus Better Business Bureau rating and residing in Minnesota, the only state in America that regulates the precious metals industry, making doing business in precious metals with Miles Franklin the safest choice, bar none. Call us at 866-485-4346 and let us review your portfolio at no commitment whatsoever. Again, that's 866-485-4346. Get the peace of mind you deserve in working with a precious metals company with a reputation like Miles Franklin. Again, that's 866-485-4346. Miles Franklin Precious Metals, the name you can trust.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free, join us here. Although, if you're already on the line, we're going to do our best to get you in here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, and we're going to go to your calls and thoughts. And if we get the chance, we'll finish up some thoughts on, because I want to hear more from this lady who's writing for Science Magazine about human sacrifice. You say that she's actually endorsing human sacrifice, Melanie.
Yeah, so she said some stuff outside of that explicitly endorsed it.
So we're going to get to that coming up here, hopefully. But first, we got to go to Big Loaf. I totally spaced his call. He's been holding on our Discord on-air call-in line room. Go ahead, Big Loaf.
Yo, how's it going, ladies and gents? Hey. So, anyways, I wanted to call about the El Paso incident where that dirty pig was waving a gun around at kids. I mean, it was disgusting.
I'm not familiar with this one. What happened?
Yeah, so there was an altercation where there was, some, relatively young teenagers, and then some kids that looked like they could have been like, anywhere between 8 and 10. But anyways, cops trying to restrain one of the older kids, and for some reason feels the need to start pointing his gun at some of the very young kids who were evidently too close for his comfort. And then he puts his gun back and starts waving the baton at him like he's going to, smack him around with that. I mean, it's just another act of, another disgusting act by a pig. But I'm sort of kind of surprised to hear y'all justify, these alleged libertarians that are cops, because, I mean, if you know a libertarian that's a cop, I can show you somebody that's not a libertarian straight up. I mean, there is no excuse for any level of violence, period. And Melanie's absolutely right.
Aggression.
You put on that
There's
uniform,
obviously an excuse for violence. I mean, if your property's being invaded or your family's being harmed, there's an excuse for violence. So you're talking about an excuse for aggression. Go ahead.
Yeah, aggressive violence, right. And Melanie's absolutely right. You put on a uniform, you know exactly what you're communicating. You're communicating, I'm a cop, and everybody knows what that means.
Well, we knew a libertarian cop. He was on our show for a while. His name was Brad Jardis.
You know a cop. No, you know a cop. If he's still a cop, he's not a libertarian.
He's not a cop, actually. He quit his job. But
So you can
that's awesome.
stop. So if you stop committing aggression, you're not forever barred from being a libertarian.
Right.
That's different than trying to do two things at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was I think he would have described himself as a libertarian, and he was, pretty freedom friendly while he was a cop, from what I understand.
First off, Republican.
I would go ahead and say that a libertarian is a broader tent than a voluntarist or something like that.
It shouldn't be, but that's your definition of it, Mark.
But also, you could hold a philosophy and understand that your job doesn't necessarily fit with the philosophy. I believe in freedom of speech, but I'm going to drop your butt if you use the F-bomb.
That's true. We have to.
Right, okay, so I guess it's technically true that you can, in your head, be an anarchist while also committing aggression for 40 to 50 hours a week. But we're talking about somebody who lives as an anarchist, voluntarist, whatever label they want to use.
Yeah, and I mean, there are Republicans out there that say they're about freedom, and then go on promoting socialist economy planning and boots on throats, right? I mean, just because you say you're something doesn't mean that you are,
well,
right?
Yeah, I mean, actions certainly speak louder than words. And if you have a cop who's claiming to be a libertarian, but they're going around enforcing victimless crime laws, then I'd say, yeah, that person's not really libertarian. But if that cop never writes a ticket for possession of cannabis, if that cop never writes a ticket for riding a bike without a helmet, if that cop is leaving peaceful people alone and only investigating violent criminals, I can't really say that person's not a libertarian.
I think you have to then go further and proactively, at a minimum, before I would even be willing to think about it, proactively walk up to every person who comes within your line of sight and say, just so you know, I am not going to be enforcing any victimless crimes today, regardless of what my uniform says, which is a completely impractical thing to do. No one's going to be able to do it, but you have to overcome what you're communicating by putting on that uniform.
Well, I can tell you this. When we had the 420s happening regularly here in Keene, New Hampshire, in downtown Central Square, after we won the territory from the police by completely defeating them by going and smoking pot in their police station lobby without anybody being arrested, and the cops left us alone in Central Square for years after that, we saw cops all the time around Central Square, but they didn't come mess with us.
Okay, I'm not saying every cop is aggressing 24/7. The fact that they refrained from a particular aggression on a particular date does not mean...
Date after date after date after date. We beat them here in Keene, New Hampshire. In fact, we beat them so good, we even had what they called nightcaps. This was back when Pete Nademo from Cop Block...
You can beat them bad or you can beat them well, but you can't beat them good.
Well, we did whatever. And we were out in Central Square at nighttime, not only openly smoking cannabis, but openly drinking from open containers. And as the cops would drive around Central Square, we would raise our beers up and yell at Keene police, like actually hollering at them, just so they knew that we were there, and they never even came over once.
Okay, but what do you think happened next week or next day when there was somebody smoking weed or drinking in public or some other petty crime by themselves without 150 people?
No doubt. Well, there weren't 150 people.
So that's someone standing down. Standing down is different than changing your philosophical alignment.
Oh, I didn't say anybody changed their philosophical alignments. I was just, pointing out that just because there's a guy in a uniform doesn't mean it's necessarily a threat. Because we beat him.
No, but it is, right? When going back to the initial example, when a cop walks up in uniform and says, please, I don't know, put on your seatbelt, you know what they're saying. They're saying, please put on your seatbelt or I will kill you, right? That is invariably what they're saying, right? Because if
they
you
don't say that in New Hampshire because it's legal to not wear a seatbelt.
Well, yeah, okay,
but
bad example.
But they have petty victimless crimes in New Hampshire.
Sure.
Just because they don't have that one.
Yeah, I think we all know that there's violence that backs every police threat. I mean, that's part of the whole thing.
So again, going back to Melanie's point,
what's your point, though?
She went out. My point is exactly what I'm saying, is that cops, when they dress like cops, inherently are communicating a threat because everybody knows what cops do. And let's not play around like, there's some magical cop that somehow fits this crazy condition where one could be a police officer but somehow not find themselves aggressing as part of their daily routine, right?
All right, so
thank you for the call tonight, Big Loaf. I appreciate it. Good, Mark.
Well, I was going to talk to him, not to you.
There's more people to talk to here.
Yeah, let's take them then.
Did you not want to make whatever point you were going to make?
Well, it's easy to stand on one side of the issue and say cops are always bad because cops have a job of being the aggressive force of the state. Yeah, granted. But in the in the real world where we have cops, would you prefer those cops to understand the ideas of liberty and be bound by their word to those ideas? It's just their word, but they're bound by something or not.
Yep, I'd prefer the former. Let's go to Lee, listening in Vermont to LRN.FM. Go ahead, Lee.
Hey, so just real quick, there's a category that you don't seem to be recognizing called hypocritical libertarian, where you believe a thing, but you act in a different way. That makes you a hypocrite in spite of... anyway.
Oh, there's plenty of libertarians that fit into that category. There's a good chunk of them.
Just one quick question. Since you got into human sacrifice, if there's a government that spends the lives of their citizens, how is that different from human sacrifice?
Great question.
Take my answer off the air.
Great question. You're referring to like the military, for instance.
Yeah, if you spend lives in the faithful pursuit of crushing communism or something like that, what's the difference? Well, I suppose the randomness of the death.
There's not much of a difference, though. Totally see his point.
Yeah, you just have to listen to Guns N' Roses' Civil War, and you'll get that point made to you.
All right. Is there more that you can share from this lady who's supposedly going to defend the act of human sacrifice in the Aztecs?
Yes, I'll just read the first couple of her tweets. She had a really long tweet thread in response to this. She said, "Thanks for reading and sharing my story on that city, the rack where the skulls of the sacrifice were displayed. But it's time for a discussion on why this practice was not horrific or loaded with evil, as some of you have said."
Was not horrific?
Yes.
Okay.
Or loaded with evil. Cultures all over the world practiced human sacrifice, and their reasons varied. Some offered people in times of environmental stress.
Yep.
Some when a ruler died. Some ritually killed captives. More on that, and she posts this link. The Mexicana, like many... I don't know how to say that. Cultures believed that without human sacrifice, the sun would stop rising and the world would end. They saw the skulls on that wall as seeds they planted to ensure the existence of future generations of people.
So because they were insane, that makes it okay?
Yeah, so because somebody at some point... And she almost treats it... She has it's a really long feed, but she almost treats it as if it's true. And so, therefore, it's okay to torture people to death because if you don't, clearly the sun won't rise the next day.
So the
Spanish, or at least if that's what you believe, then it's okay.
The Spanish Inquisition is acceptable because they felt like their Christian way of life was threatened by the Jews and the Muslims. So wholesale slaughter and genocide, okay. By this reason.
Well, no, because she's a leftist moral relativist.
I know. That's why you throw the Spanish Inquisition at the leftists.
All right, back tomorrow. You can join us online in the meantime over at freetalklive.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, July 9th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.17 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,265 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $22, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,719. Antiwar.com reports an ongoing U.S. and Afghan military offensive against the Islamic State in the Nangarhar province is coming to an end soon. Officials say that the target, the border area of Da Bella, will be totally cleared in the operation. U.S. officials are saying that the area on the border with Pakistan was going to be used to attack the cities of Kabul and Jalalabad. The report appears designed to suggest this offensive, once finished, will more or less totally remove the Islamic State from the bulk of the Nangarhar province. This is something we've heard before, of course. Time and again, offensives against the Islamic State and Nangarhar have killed scores or even hundreds of suspects and ended with claims of total victory. Time and again, the Islamic State has re-emerged within weeks after the end of the offensive with no apparent long-term losses. This particular offensive appears to have been little more than a matter of convenience for U.S. forces at any rate. The declaration of a ceasefire by the Afghan government at the end of Ramadan meant the U.S. could not attack the Taliban for a while, and they decided to escalate the fighting against the Islamic State instead. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend-A-Bit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend-A-Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. UPI reports the First Church of Cannabis in Indiana will not be allowed to use cannabis as a religious sacrament as long as cannabis is illegal in the state, according to a judge's ruling. The church argued that it should be allowed to use marijuana for religious use under the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, but Marion County Superior Judge Cheryl Lynch rejected that view because the state has a compelling interest to prohibit marijuana to fight drug trafficking. Lynch wrote in her opinion, "The undisputed evidence demonstrates that permitting a religious exemption to laws that prohibit the use and possession of marijuana would hinder drug enforcement efforts statewide and negatively impact public health and safety," adding that police officers would have to differentiate between religious use and non-religious use of cannabis. Lynch said it is compelling and appropriate to treat the illicit drug market in a unitary way. Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill praised Lynch's ruling, saying, "I appreciate the court's fidelity to both the law and to common sense. Indiana's law against the possession, sale, and use of marijuana protects the health, safety, and well-being of the Hoosiers statewide. When the state has justifiable and compelling interest at stake, no one can evade the law simply by describing their illegal conduct as an exercise of religious faith." In response, Bill Levin, who founded the church in 2015, said cannabis is safer than Curtis Hill, adding that he plans to appeal the ruling. Bitcoin Not Bombs is a launching pad for nonprofits and social entrepreneurs into the financial freedom of the Bitcoin economy. Bitcoin Not Bombs offers premium publicity campaigns designed to facilitate an organization's adoption of Bitcoin as a payment system and to fully capitalize on that decision in their fundraising efforts. Bitcoin Not Bombs is fully committed to being the hub of the nonprofit sector of the Bitcoin economy, maximizing the potential cross-promotion of all our clients and commercial partners. BitcoinNotBombs.com. Reuters reports health insurers warn that a move by the Trump administration on Saturday to temporarily suspend a program that was set up to pay out $10.4 billion to insurers for covering high-risk individuals last year could drive up premium costs and create marketplace uncertainty. The Affordable Care Act's Risk Adjustment Program is intended to incentivize health insurers to cover individuals with pre-existing and chronic conditions by collecting money from insurers with relatively healthy enrollees to offset the cost of other insurers with sicker ones. President Donald Trump's administration has used its regulatory power to undermine the ACA on multiple fronts after the Republican-controlled Congress last year failed to repeal and replace the law propelled by Democratic President Barack Obama. About 20 million Americans have received health insurance coverage through the Affordable Care Act. America's Health Insurance Plans, a trade group representing insurers offering plans via employers, through government programs, and in the individual marketplace, said the suspensions by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services would create a new market disruption at a critical time when insurers are setting premiums for the next year. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Regarded by many as one of the fastest rising online personalities today, social media rock star Ryan Wasserman has 250,000 loyal Twitter followers and earns $28,000 a year at his job as an administrative assistant. The Onion spoke to the online luminary at KPL Insurance, where he works from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and makes roughly $13 an hour.
I'm just trying to bring my unique perspective to everybody. That's what my followers expect, and I like to think I deliver.
Wasserman, who currently has $900 in his checking account, regularly engages in conversations with high-profile celebrities and takes the bus to work from the two-bedroom apartment he shares with a 23-year-old he met on Craigslist.
Actually, I just started a Tumblr because sometimes 140 characters just doesn't cut it. I just had a Google Glass tweet that Questlove retweeted again. KPL, this is Ryan. Yeah, I'm sorry, I totally forgot.
This is the Onion News Network.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Today, let us make them remember. We are not afraid!
Yeah, no fear here and declare your independence. And me, Ernest Hancock, here in on the Canadian border in Washington State on vacation. Don and I are on vacation. We're chilling with some friends and up here. We may get some of them on the show. There's a lot of interesting people up here. There's one gentleman wrote a book about the Indian Wars up here and went through, found a bunch of quotes, diary entries, journals, newspaper. That just didn't use a. Let me tell you what really happened. You know, that's fascinating. We're up near Marble. Marble is a Christian community up here. We made friends. We went to Red Pill Expo, and a lot of them, you know, were there. So, you know, that's where Jordan Page, you know, is staying. You know, he's been living there for at least a couple of years. So Jordan Page is up here, and we have some common friends that we, you know, visit with in the summer. A lot of you that listen to the show over the summer know that I come up here for a week or so, and sometimes I'll do a show, and usually I don't. But I came here straight from the Libertarian National Convention with, I just got the single rig remote kind of do it thing. I don't even have a mic stand. I didn't even take off because it has a lot of weight. And I was really on, you know, 50 pound, everything. But we got, you know, distributed a whole bunch of stuff and, you know, shirts and, you know, letters of marque and laptop stickers and everything. So we're, you know, spreading the word. What I'm going to do is today everybody's asleep. It's 6 o'clock in the morning here, and you're up doing fireworks last night. Now, 4th of July, we got here 4th of July, and the small little community that we're up in here, they go out in the Columbia River, and they just, you know, they buy a crap load of fireworks. They go to, here they got some, but they go to Montana for some really, really good fireworks. So, they do them themselves. The community comes together. They buy, I don't know, a few $1,000s worth of fireworks, and you get up on the hill of the park they have going up to the river, and everybody just parks and walks out, and, you know, the guys go out there and just do it, and there's 4, 5, 6 guys, some volunteer firemen and stuff, and they, you know, put on the show. Well, nephew of one of my friends, you know, was out there, got to play. And then you get to do fireworks on New Year's Eve, 4th of July, and the day after 4th of July, you know, whatever's left over. So last night up here is a little canyon that we were doing, and man, they were going to be hours. They probably got about a half hour into it. Neighbors said, hey man, you're scaring the horses. And that was always one of the criteria for government. It was, hey man, as long as you don't scare the horses. because you get panic in the streets and horses running up and down with carriages and so on, whatever. And the fireworks, they weren't digging it too much. But we've been doing this for years. It's just the fireworks have gotten bigger. So it was really a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. And, the kids come up from all around, want to do that. So you got to give them a little show. Well, and they called and let everybody know that they were going to be doing this, but it was just, they didn't bring the horses in and it was freaking them out. So it's just, all right, just be good neighbors. Now, their friends they put up fencing, and they have, a large area up here. They have 3 buffalo. Do you have buffalo? And it's 1 male and 2 female, and they're only about, not even a year old, and they're getting big already. I was like, well, let's go out and pet the buffalo. Maybe not, especially with the fencing you have to have here. I mean, damn, it's a really nice place. I remember kind of a decade ago when they first bought this, it was just one little building and a pole barn, and that was it, and it just keeps developing and developing, and they have little cabins and stuff just for friends to come up, because they spend the winter in Panama and then here primarily in the summer, and it's just beautiful. And it's about in Panama, it's always about 78, 80 degrees, and it's hot during the middle of the day, but it's really nice down there. It's in a dry area, and on the beach that doesn't have a lot of humidity and doesn't have insects. I mean, that was like, my God, go to Panama, you just think insects all the time. Not so much. More here. Last night, a lot of mosquitoes and so on. But we have the healthy, what do you call it? Organic, whatever, bug repellent, so you don't feel like you're, getting toxified. And that worked pretty well. Donna's sleeping. I'm up by myself. There's a whole bunch of people here. Boston Tea Party's up here. We get to spend, a lot of time with him. We have common friends. So I can see where he's staying, across the field there. And I'm going, Boston, get your butt up. Maybe later. He'll hear me out here talking, declaring my independence. I won't be screaming too much. How's the sound on the 1, 2? Yeah, okay. I can go about this loud. We'll go over some of the news. And I didn't want to go. I could have done a rerun today, but this week, before we got into next week and started dropping off, give my spiel on the Libertarian National Convention and happenings around that. Mises Institute did a thing on Saturday, and Dr. Ron Paul had a taped message to everybody. I missed that, but I got to hang out with Jeff Dice from the Mises Institute and say yo what's up to Tom Woods and Bob Murphy and Scott Horton. These guys are all trying to give don't be wimps and compromise in this Bill Weld kind of thing. And Nick Sarwark got 60-something% of the vote on the first round. And there was at least 5, 6, 7 candidates or whatever running for chair. So he did pretty well, and for a lot of good reasons. But, it was very satisfying to see the nervousness of the Libertarian National Committee, Nick's campaign. I mean, they were pretty confident. I mean, they're counting numbers. I think they were going to do okay. And the primary contender, Joshua Smith, kind of faltered and showed his weaknesses in the debate and kind of, throughout the campaign. And, Libertarians pick up on some stuff. We'll go over that. But he did make it on the LNC, Libertarian National Committee. And it was they have 5 members at large, and I think he was one of those. And I did do a member-at-large speech. There was like 40, and I didn't do any campaign or nothing. I think I came in like 11th or something. And they do, what it was is you have to drop off. What happened was Michael Kilsky from Arizona nominated me, and I wanted to, because I always, say something. So I was a good boy. I didn't say nothing. I was nice. I did a couple of interviews from there. We did at least 1 or 2 days, of interviews. And it was... just my conciliatory, being nice, everybody kind of, kumbaya. It's all kind of, the main message I had is this. The members at large are